I saw the look in your eyes. You did not seem so sure.
I am now, buddy.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah.
All right.
Tell you what, bro.
There's the confidence.
Over day, I've become the ambassador for Birds Aren't Real.
Yeah, we need more people out in the field, man.
Bro, we got the field guide right here. We're gonna give everybody the rub.
Yeah, the road.
On all this whole freaking spiel here. Anyways, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, cheers to that.
People
man.
are home eating fake fucking birds. They don't
Yeah, I
even
didn't
know
think
it.
about that. Yeah, man.
Here, make sure this is like
Oh.
at least in front of your face, and you can move that
good?
around as much as you'd like.
All right.
Yeah. What do you think about that, though?
But-
People eating. Anyways, we won't even
I
go
mean,
in.
turkeys are
Let's not
different.
go
Turkeys
there.
are different.
Turkeys
Yeah,
are
our
different.
turkeys on the
Yeah.
field guide. We got to check the field
Yeah.
guide to see if turkeys are on
turkeys
there.
they're exempt. That's
Let's-
different.
Yeah, so this is the hottest new thing, people. Birds aren't real.
No.
All right?
Yeah.
And,
thank you for joining the cause, Mike. By the way,
I
long enough, honestly.
we're really
Welcome
supporting
to
the
2020.
cause.
Come on.
Check this. Check the shirt
Yeah, gotta rep the set, man. Gotta rep the set.
right there.
Oh yeah.
And
Get the flex in, Mike.
I'll throw this in at some point so people can look at it.
Yeah,
we'll
look
get
at
right in there.
Sorry. Whoops, sorry, is that my pet?
I just ripped my shirt.
Oh.
Whoops.
We're gonna hash this whole thing out with Brian Denning, man. Thanks for coming on the show,
Yeah,
by
no,
the
thanks
way.
for having me,
Gonna
man.
Shoot that to you right quick. Now look at this. Of course, all along, and I fucking knew it, man. Pigeons, city surveillance. What else would they be?
Why do you think there's so many pigeons in New York, Mike? Come
You have
on.
to ask yourself a really
Put two
simple
and two
question
together.
here. When was the last
Simple
time
math.
you caught
Simple math.
a pigeon and tore it open with your hands like
Well,
an
man,
apple?
I hope never.
Yeah,
honestly.
only once or twice, and I wasn't convinced.
There was that one time in San Francisco, Mike. With the,
There's a lot of pigeons, and sometimes you just want to dig in.
No, see, sometimes what made me think about it is they're always on telephone wires on top of buildings. You never
They're
see,
recharging.
You've never seen a pigeon in a tree, have you? That's what made me think about it. You never seen a pigeon leave a tree.
it's true.
I think
They're always.
True.
I
they're
think you're
always
absolutely
somewhere. Yeah,
right.
man.
Cold hard facts, my friends.
Can't
Cold
deny it.
hard
Let-
facts.
so all right. I've at some point at least thrown up the field guide. Hopefully you guys have seen it. But the actual conspiracy, and it's I think fake, right? But I don't know.
I mean, aren't all conspiracies fake to an extent?
no, because
You
some
know?
are true, and in fact, more often than not, you'll find that they are true.
There's
but
truth behind every conspiracy,
like
in
the,
some sense.
the Bigfoot conspiracy
Oh, I
was
believe
like
that wholeheartedly.
was like. Well, in other words, it's kind of fake as of what we know now,
Mm.
but true in the sense that there was something, as anybody who's watched the Joe Rogan Experience,
right,
the Gigantopithecus,
Yeah,
was an
yeah.
actual creature. It was a
totally.
very large hominid, bipedal hominid, or whatever. And in the same sense, we could go on to UFOs and stuff like that. But the
mermaids and all that.
mermaids, I'm totally not into them.
You don't believe it?
I believe that there could be, but I don't believe any of the evidence that's come out
Oh
yet.
no! I mean, the evidence is
You know what I
is
mean?
very
It's all
shaky.
CGI.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like they
So there's
constantly
a
do that.
documentary on Discovery they had that was mermaids are real and all that, and I believed that it was a true thing
Yeah.
until I found out that it was just a hoax they put out.
Dude, it was
and I was so let down.
It was just so choppy, and
well,
it was
it's like an old pirate's tale. That's what the mermaids are. They're
It was
all
a
like
sloppy-
an old sailor's tale.
yeah,
It's
they'd
like
see a manatee and
Yeah.
they'd think it was
um.
the half-naked woman. You know,
I've said it on here 1,000, yeah, because they're freaking out at sea, hard as a dog. You know
Well,
what I
that
mean? Like drinking rum, and there's not a woman
Mm.
in sight. So they're gonna be seeing things. It's like a mirage at sea.
Well, yeah, no, that was
Where,
the thing.
where in the desert you see water as a mirage, but in the sea you see women.
You're drinking sea salt 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? Like that'll
Yeah.
mess up your mind a little bit.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I was just gonna say that with the old sailors, like I think was it with the Odyssey? What was that book? I think it was the Odyssey. Greek mythology and stuff. Like the mermaids, what they would do is they'd sing a song, lure the
Oh, the
sailors
sirens.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, the
Sirens.
sirens.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I've seen a ton of the footage because I love a good conspiracy.
Oh,
I'll
who
dig in.
doesn't,
You know what I
man?
mean?
Yeah.
It's very fun, and I've said it on here before that I have always been suspicious as to why a species as intelligent as us, or intelligent in the way that we are,
Mm-hmm.
hadn't developed first in the ocean before land. Considering the ocean is a much bigger
Right,
world.
yeah.
than
That's the scary part about it. You know, we don't know what's lurking in those crevices and those
Right,
caves.
I
That
mean-
we can't even physically. We don't have the structures to even go down that deep. Like submarines can only dive a certain amount
know.
of meters, and we don't even have submarines that can get deep get
And
deep enough to find
the
out.
process is
Scary.
extremely lengthy
Oh,
to get
yeah.
down there and then get back up.
Oh, yeah,
Like when they talk
completely.
about going down, and they don't even go that deep or as deep as it can go. But I mean, oh god, there's like a nitrogen thing. Like for instance, it's like shaking up a soda pop and opening it if you go up too quickly from being submerged really
I've
low.
heard about that. Yeah, your body can't pressurize itself quick
Yeah.
enough, and
So I guess the nitrogen in your blood will like expand too quickly, or the
Jesus
oxygen or
Christ.
some shit like that, and you can like die
God
from that
bless 'em,
same.
man.
trying to think what the name of it is. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
look it up. Look it up. It's like a hypo something.
Chondriac? No, just
Nope.
kidding.
2 points for trying though, out of 1,000. But yeah, no. I think most conspiracies are true until proven wrong. It's kind of like true till proven false because
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
the flat
completely.
Earth is such a conspiracy, but there was also like. I don't know what was a really big one back in the day. Like 9/11 was a big one because
man, it's still a conspiracy
it's
to this
still
day,
kind
but
of like
people-
dodgy.
I mean,
Well, they point fingers. That's where the conspiracy gets hazy. But what happened? It was like, well, it's kind of obvious they were demolished in some way.
they brought in experts who said
Yeah.
that no, it was a controlled demolition,
and they
through
never
and through.
disclosed what happened to Building 7 and all
No,
that.
yeah,
that
and
was probably
the Pentagon had a hole in it with there's no wings attached to it. They barely found any parts in the plane, but they found the serial number, and that was it. Like,
Yeah.
that's planted.
yeah,
you know.
to go that low. I guess they were saying from what they saw from the wreckage, it was more likely to be a missile than it was an
So
airplane.
I heard the wing that it hit actually was under repairs
Yeah.
during that whole entire thing, and there's nobody in there. I was like, that's
Yeah.
fishy, you
I-
know.
I remember being all about it, and I don't know.
I
kind of
gave
just
up. I
gave up on it too.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it kind of it's too
completely.
long.
On a brighter note, decompression sickness is what it's called. when you send too
Decompression.
quickly.
Okay, yeah, we're back full circle there.
Came back,
From one
man.
lovely topic to another.
Well, the nature of a conspiracy. Like I dove into.
We start with birds, we end up at 9/11.
Yeah,
somehow,
dude.
you know.
And then got into
This is
diving.
what
and-
happens. Okay, no,
it's,
that's
it's a wormhole, right
that's
there.
what I
Little
wanted to.
decompression sickness in there too. You know,
Yeah.
just for good measure.
Extra
And
fun
by
of
the
it.
way, don't
Yeah.
go deep and go up quick.
Right. That's the lesson of
Now we
today's-
just need to.
Don't go diving and then go for then take a plane. I've heard that too. Same thing can happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like
No
really
kidding.
fast, like from
Uh,
airplane to.
Well, within the same day, yeah. There's something can happen there
Huh.
too.
I mean, you live an exciting life
to
if you're
know.
going diving and getting onto a plane. that
Yeah.
same
Well,
day.
I
Like,
do
you
have an
live a-
exciting
Center.
life. That's how I live my life.
Yeah,
That's what to do
Mike's
it, man.
he's a playboy of sorts.
I'm
Jack
in
of
the
all
ocean
trades.
by day, in the sky by night.
That's the way to live, man.
That's the kind of guy I
That's
am.
the way to live.
He's like 007.
But let's disclose for those people who haven't heard of this fake conspiracy. I think it's a very on purpose fake conspiracy.
Oh yeah.
But it was at first kind of interesting
It
when
gains a lot of traction. Though,
when I heard I heard
Mhm.
about it because I'm like, whoa, like it wasn't so much some of the details that came after, but this whole operation. What was it in the 90s? Can you explain kind of what the gist of
I'm
it
not really
was?
sure when I think. Cause I was talking. Like I said, I was talking to this guy at work who said he's thought about it since the '60s.
Yeah,
That it was
the
even
60s.
a joke back then that said, oh, pigeons. No one knows when a pigeon just landed somewhere. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's funny. And I started looking into it, but people truly believe that there's a Operation Eagle Eye from the United States government, and a lot of people say that that's where the whole entire bird conspiracy came from, was the code name and everything, and it's
and then it
and
stemmed from there.
yeah, people kind of you put a one pinpoint on
So what
on the web, and
Yeah.
it'll branch out
And
immediately.
what they were talking about, or at least what I found, is that at one point they had done some high altitude operation to kill off all the birds, and then they replaced all the birds with robots. Now, at first, that's a little embellished, though. What I wouldn't be so opposed to looking into or believing, and another thing that I think somebody could really, make a more polished conspiracy
Mhm.
to is by claiming that some birds are robots.
Oh yeah, no, completely. I mean,
Like imagine like an
wouldn't-
entire flock and you have one in there that's not.
it wouldn't be
a
hard
bird.
to hide one in the
They're
bunch.
kind of.
you
I mean,
know?
when you look at how robots move, birds are like spot on.
yeah,
They're all jerky. and,
yeah,
like,
you ever see a pigeon how it looks at you? They're creepy.
They're
I
like
mean,
doing this.
They
you
might
know?
not be a robot, but they're a creepy looking bird. I'll
Yeah.
give you that much.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. City pigeons are weird, and I think they're like doves. If you think about
Yeah,
it,
it's
they
a
look
it's a
like
rock dove, I believe is his technical term.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
I
good to
took
know.
ornithology back in high school. That's the only reason I know that.
Really?
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
shit. Because I was gonna say, I've seen doves in the wild. I've
Mhm.
never seen pigeons anywhere else other than the city.
Yeah, I was at my mom's house last week for Sunday dinner, and I was telling her about all of it just as a joke, and she just called me crazy and all that. I'm like, yeah, you raised me that way. You know what I mean? But,
Some people will
and I
ride
told
with
her, I was
it
like,
though.
you've never seen like a baby pigeon. You've never seen a pigeon in a tree making a nest. You've seen every other bird somewhere in a tree along your travels, you know. But I've never seen a pigeon fly out of a tree. They're always on a rooftop or on a power line or
Yeah.
somewhere on the ground level. And I was like, then my girlfriend's looking up baby pigeon pictures. I'm like, yeah, it's Photoshop.
Well, what I always
Fake news.
what I always reference with things like this is that a lot of these things can be attributed to I think an experiment that at some point I heard I can't reference anything official, but I can say I've heard that there was some college study, I forget what college, that tried did in other words some experiments to prove that it's easier to make people believe in something than it is for them to disbelieve in something, and that's kind of where the flat earth conspiracy came from.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
Because that's like a
that.
big one. Like people really
Oh,
actually think the world is
people
flat.
are wholehearted about it. Like people say, like, "Oh, I don't even want to go take a trip because if you go there, their CIA will take you in." And I'm like,
yeah, like
yeah.
Truman Show type shit. Have you ever seen the Truman Show?
No, I've heard a little bit about it though.
It's a great movie, and it almost gets you kind of weirded out when you look around and you're like, "Shit, is this what's happening to me?" Like I kind of always question it, man.
Yeah, I mean, so when the Flyers study just became a thing, I looked into it, and some of the things they make you wonder. I don't. For myself, like I don't want to believe that it's true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to seem that crazy, but like some of the things they put out there, it's like, damn, like is it real?
I
You
know. Well, that's just it. That's why I kind of went in the wormhole that I did when I first found out about the flat Earth thing. It's because I was like, all right, I want to see how convinced I can get and then
Right.
gauge myself.
Right,
from
it just
there.
has a totally unbiased position.
Yeah.
How much can they convince me?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see enough backlash on it. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
saw a little bit here and there, and some celebrities came out about it. Like you hear Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about it and all them. But I really, I really wanted to see kind of where they were coming from. And honestly, the biggest flaw about the whole conspiracy is that all the videos are the same. They talk about the same
that makes sense.
exact things. And you know what was even funnier is they came out with a video, like a Netflix original. And
I didn't even
all
say- I
of
gotta
their
watch that.
tests, all of their tests failed, dude. It was fucking hilarious.
No
And they
kidding.
aired it. Yeah, it was so funny. It was like, well, there's still some polishing we need to do on this experiment, but it did fail. Like, dude, give up.
Just let it go.
You know what I
man.
mean?
Let it go. Like, you're not convincing me
Right,
anymore. Like,
right.
You lost all credibility right there.
It comes down to some people
Yeah.
really having a hard time fathoming size differential. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And they go, well,
yeah, completely.
you know, if the Earth is round, why can I see a ship float away? You know what I mean? It's like, dude,
I
because
learned this in like third grade.
you're so small
Yeah,
compared to the planet. You're never gonna
Exactly,
see
man.
that curve unless
It's,
you're
it's
in
like
space.
it's like third grade art class stuff. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like it's
It's
you know.
crazy. It's
so
crazy.
I feel like some people just want to believe just the most outlandish things. They want to be kind of one of those people. Like if it's right, I was right all along. You know what I
Or
mean?
that whole
It's
guy
like-
that built a rocket because he wanted to prove the Earth was flat, and then
Yeah.
was it this year or last year? He actually passed away because his rocket failed midair and just like exploded or some shit,
Jesus
and came
Christ,
down like a
man.
ton of bricks. And yeah, it was.
Was it
No
worth it?
way.
Was it worth
Yeah,
it?
no, literally, yeah, it was bad.
What'd you
But
find out, Larry?
Maybe he did find out the truth, and we'll
Yeah.
never know what he saw up there.
Yeah, I
You
don't.
know?
If I remember the video correctly, I don't even think he got like anywhere close enough to even like see that.
Maybe the government took him
Yeah,
out midair.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
we
it
don't
was one of
know.
those damn pigeons.
Well, dude,
fucking pigeons.
there's nothing like a spicy
was.
conspiracy. Dude, yeah, he's flying up. Send the birds.
Yeah.
All the drones start
Plug
going
in
up.
pigeons attack his rocket, man.
No, so
Flight of the Valkyries is fucking coming
the
in.
pigeons aren't enough. Send in the hawks. And then the hawks don't make it, so they send in the geese.
Yeah.
No, geese have been known to take down airplanes before.
yeah.
Yeah, I've heard
that's
about
a
that.
huge. That's I've flown a lot. I used to travel for work, And that was my biggest fear whenever I was up in the air and I'd see geese in the distance. I'm like, oh, God.
don't
like,
get-
if this is how I go,
Every time I
that
see
sucks.
I'm gonna hate
It's like
geese
goddamn
forever.
goose,
Yeah.
man. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
watching you, motherfucker.
How did
I'm the window flipping them off. And
How did
everything.
Flight 47 crash? A goose flew into the engine.
Like, Jesus Christ, man.
Anytime I see a goose when I'm flying, I run straight to the pilot. Go avoid that goose.
Yeah.
Watch out.
You're barking at the window. Get off.
Right. So like Titanic and an iceberg, you know? Like, watch out.
That would be ridiculous. That would be the freaking dumbest way for a plane to go down by goose.
By goose.
Recreational surveillance.
Yeah.
Fucking
Makes
recreational
sense. They're always on
surveillance.
like golf courses and stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. They
That's
are.
a solid
They do that
point, man.
flying V thing too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not
Bastard.
natural.
That's they're assuming the flight shape of a B-52 or rather stealth bomber.
Right.
It's all there,
It's all-
folks.
You guys gotta do the research yourself. You can't just give it all to you.
Yeah,
man.
you got. I mean,
You
this is common sense at this point. Let's bring it. I want to just kind of add some context here too, because Brian and we were talking about this at that Halloween party, and I'm like, dude, we gotta let the people know, man. We had.
I never thought I wore a shirt to Halloween party and it kicked off to something crazy. It's
I know.
like,
Everybody was dressed up. Brian had birds aren't real.
Right, that's my costume. You know,
Crazy.
conspiracy theorist. Yeah,
It is a good one, man.
Hell yeah.
It's
it was,
a legit
it was
costume.
minimalist. You know, that's how I roll.
You don't have to tell me. I was a freaking quarterback for like 2 years in a row. I'd literally tape a quarter to my back.
That's beautiful.
That was
that's
it.
Like, that's like Jim from The
That was
Office.
it. That was it.
Yeah.
I think Brian Caracello
Yeah.
did that. Yeah, Jim, 3-hole punch
Yeah.
Jim. I was thinking about getting a name tag with a name that's not mine.
Yeah, that's great.
I
man.
thought about
simple.
it. I thought about it, man.
Yeah. I was originally supposed to go as Jughead from Riverdale. And I had the jacket and everything.
What's Jughead?
You never seen the show Riverdale?
No, it sounds familiar.
It's based off the old Archie comic books,
Mm.
Archie Bunker comic books. They made a whole revamped show about it on the CW or something. It's a pretty decent show. It's kind of like all crime mystery and
Yeah.
that whole thing. You know, some left
Nice.
to lane. There's musicals involved, and that's where I kind of stemmed off from it.
Yeah, man. I've been trying to get my show game down.
Sopranos.
Sopranos over here. This
Dude,
guy can't get him on Xbox to save my fucking
I've
life.
I've never
Yeah.
watched Sopranos.
Oh, so good. Me and my
Not a
girlfriend
single
started watching
episode.
it like a week or two ago.
Seen The Godfather?
Of course.
No.
It's classic.
Dude,
It's
you
I
classic.
gotta
have
watch
it,
The
man. Like, I'm like the worst
Godfather.
American ever. I've never seen
Just
Star
watch-
Wars.
Just watch the first one. The second one and third one. Or is there a third one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
three.
the second one and third one are good too,
Mm.
but the first one is like iconic. I mean, Marlon Brando
Yeah, so whenever I have like multiple tell me you gotta watch this movie, it's just like
makes it worse.
I just don't ever. You know,
I
for
know.
some
I
reason,
know.
it's like that's like
You
that's
gotta
the
get around to it when you
it's,
get around.
it's
you
the
know?
rebel in me. It's like, nah,
Yeah.
man, I'm not gonna do it now.
Yeah, you know what? Instead, I'm not watching
Right.
it. I
Yeah.
actually have the movie. I'm gonna throw it away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy every copy at Walmart
Yeah.
and just put them in the trash can as soon as I leave.
Yeah.
Actually,
You know?
I'm gonna make sure you watch me do this. I'm
Yeah.
gonna bring my copy.
Is this the movie you wanted me to watch? As you throw it into a fire.
Oh god! So I've never seen Star Wars, and this day I get so much backlash from that. You've never
Oh, I
seen
know.
Star
I know
Wars?
people
It's
who've
like,
never
I've
seen
never-
Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, I've never watched that either. I've seen like parts.
The reason why that's such a big deal too is because back in the day,
Because it changed
movies.
Mike's life.
It's like the Bible to me, bro. No,
Mike
back
was
in the
lived by
day,
that.
movies were the thing.
Oh yeah, we didn't have
Like
anything else.
shows were more cheeky. You know what I mean? I feel
Mhm.
like people weren't watching shows like they are today. Now shows are like the best.
Well, because back in the day, if you missed a show, you had to wait 2 months to see
Yeah.
that episode again. You
Mhm,
know, like
exactly.
we don't have.
You can binge watch a show.
Yeah,
now.
we don't have. Like Joe Rogan was talking about, we have like pretty much instant gratification for anything we do. Like
Yeah.
you can
You don't have to
spend
wait. And
a
then when
day
we-
and a
yeah.
half watch an entire series of shows.
Right, you can watch the entirety
Within
of
a
like, Breaking
day.
Bad or something.
Yeah, exactly. And so we didn't have that when we were kids. If you miss a TV Guide channel to go past, you have to
Yeah.
wait 10 minutes for it to wrap back around. It's like, okay, 8 o'clock, I got to be on. You know what I
Right,
mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
Or
We
if
don't-
you got lucky, they'd have a marathon. You could just like watch
Right,
that.
you can
Yeah,
catch
like
up. You can
old
catch up in
episodes.
that one episode
Yeah,
you missed.
yeah.
There was nothing
yeah.
more painful either than the commercials on television.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I don't miss, man. That's one thing I do not miss.
I don't
is-
even have TV.
It's
I've
like
never
30
even had
minutes of
TV.
a show was telling me 17, 18 minutes, how much ever it is, and almost half of it was just
Commercials.
ads.
Yeah, oh, it's the worst.
You
It's
know?
like 4 minutes
Well,
of
it's
commercials.
funny when you watch like Again, watch The Sopranos if I haven't
Yeah.
told you for 1,000 times. But
Full circle
Wait, you
again.
watched The Sopranos?
yeah, have I told you guys? It's a great show. But like watching it, and obviously I was started in like 99, 2000, and it's obviously we don't get the commercials, but it's 46 or something minutes or so. So and that's typically an hour show, so it just
Right.
like shows you how much like the commercials add to it.
So I heard all the streaming services are pretty much canceling commercials now. Like they don't.
I
they're
hope
not,
so.
they're not getting the ad revenue they used to.
Hulu
'cause-
has them, and it's super
Unless-
annoying.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hate it. When I started Hulu, they didn't have it, and now
Yeah.
it's every 10 minutes.
Lame.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, dude, come on.
Dude, I remember when they
got this
started
for a reason.
doing it for YouTube.
Yeah,
remember
that was
that?
a pain in my
Remember
ass,
when
man.
YouTube didn't do that? Most
Yeah,
people
yeah.
probably don't. And it's not even because
God,
they
I
never
feel old
experienced
now.
it though. No, it's not even because they didn't experience it. It's because it's so easy to forget that commercials weren't a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, completely.
Like I remember because I watched way more YouTube than anything else
Mhm.
growing up, and I remember not having any commercial. I remember when YouTube Red came out as a contrast to those.
Right,
So you
right.
could pay like $5-10 a
It's not too
month.
bad. I had it. I had the trial. They still have it around.
Yeah, but it's just you know what I mean. The point is that it's like, before you could get away with just watching shit. Now everything got.
Yep.
It's all behind paywalls.
But
and
at the
shit.
same
Yeah,
time,
exactly.
the funny
it's,
thing
it's,
is,
it's their way of making their money. They're not getting ad revenues.
Yeah.
They gotta make you. If you don't want ads, pay me a little extra,
yeah.
and you don't have ads. But it's like you're still making money off me.
And
either way.
for some, and it's not all bad because I do recognize the fact that a lot of people make a great living off of YouTube, and that's how becoming a
Yeah.
partner and all that. But what ended up, I think, happening, and I'm probably wrong about this on some level, is that people who were making content for YouTube and getting paid a lot ended up getting less money as time went on, like through the
yeah, that makes sense.
corporatization of the
YouTube
whole
pretty much
of the
like,
whole
hey,
thing.
you got to pay us more of your cut for every ad that we show.
Right, right.
things like that. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, YouTube's gonna get theirs. Like that's what it comes.
Mm.
down
Oh
to.
yeah, completely. You're on their platform. They're gonna
Dude,
make sure they're getting paid.
They're so powerful, YouTube and Facebook, that they can tell you they can just select who they want.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could be somebody reeling in people, and they could just be like,
No, we're not.
No.
It's all about the algorithm. They're
Bye.
gonna be like, hey man, you're not gonna show up on anybody's timeline, anybody's newsfeed or
Yeah.
anything, and you're just
you can just go away.
either follow our rules
Bye-bye.
or we're
Bye
gonna.
bye. Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah,
it's like the
Thanos
Gestapo.
snap.
Yeah.
See you later.
It's like the Gestapo. You just
yeah.
disappear.
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
That's not, who was he? No one knows.
no. There's no record of him anywhere.
Sliced
man.
his face off Japanese style, bro.
The Yakuza. over
Yeah,
here,
Yakuza, man. They took a katana to his forehead and just pulled down.
Jeez.
YouTube, the modern,
You ever
Yaku-
see
the
that,
modern
dude?
Yakuza, man.
No,
They-
and I don't want to.
Oh
Right,
man,
right.
there's
That's
some.
something I wanna look
I'm gonna
up.
tell you, bro. If
your
the-
your reenactment right there was enough.
I'll
It
tell
was
you,
enough.
like,
I
there's-
imagined it.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
don't want to.
some dope
Visualize.
classic samurai movies out there
Oh, there.
that I don't think
Mm.
enough people have gotten into because
That's one thing I never really watched.
yeah, dude, samurai kung fu movies were where it was at, bro. If you ever
See?
came across them, you're like, what?
Well, shit. You know, it's a really good game too.
These
You can't-
people died with honor, bro.
Oh,
they
yeah.
wouldn't even. If they lost, they would kill themselves. Before
Yeah,
their
like
enemy
if
would
they
kill
if they
them.
knew they
Big
were
thing.
done, like, nah, man, this is my
Yeah.
life. Like I'm
And-
taking it.
and to
It's
the
like,
point
that's badass.
that,
That
like
really
I'm saying,
is.
that's a real thing. They would slice their face off with their fucking katana.
Jesus Christ,
Right before
bro. Way to
dying.
get dramatic
Just
about
so
it.
that their life, dude. I'm not making this stuff up. This is a thing, man, and they
Can't
would do this so to not disgrace their family, or
yeah.
whatever.
That's
you know?
still a big thing in Japanese culture to this day, though. There's plenty of people who will lose their jobs and
Yeah.
they off themselves because they
Yeah.
don't want to
I've heard
disgrace their
about that.
family and stuff.
It's a big thing in World War II in Japan.
No, I've heard about that currently. Like, there's a really high rate of suicide out there
Oh yeah, it still is.
because they're just like work
Mhm.
savages.
Yeah,
out there.
that's where the Mount Fuji, for the name of the forest, but it's
Yeah,
the,
people go
the
there.
suicide forest, and I heard like back in the early 1600s, 1700s, around that era, they would bring the elderly to the top of Mount Fuji, and they'd leave them there, and that's because they wanted to die. They didn't want to be a burden on their family. Like, hey, I'm old. You spend too much time taking care of me.
Yeah.
That I'm a burden on everyone else. Just bring me to the top of the mountain and leave me there. It's like imagine just like, oh, bye, grandma.
Yeah.
You know, like, she's just up there, just
Yeah.
chilling in the cold. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, man. Like we're never gonna see her again.
Dude,
Like, that's,
for real.
It's a badass way to go, man. You know, take
a
it
lot of
upon
honor.
yourself.
Venture out into the forest. See you later.
Dude,
Right,
that's
right.
what ended. Did you guys ever catch what happened to like Logan Paul?
Oh yeah,
He
yeah.
went there, and YouTube banned him for a while. Obviously, he's back because he's got a podcast now.
Well, he did. He also kind of made like a mockery of it. Like he kind of went a little too
I
far
watched
with it.
that
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
episode.
He got, like,
I
like,
don't
took
think
him
he
to,
did.
But
And
still, like that was very
he-
it
he-
wasn't even meant to be broadcast.
here's what he
That was the
did.
problem.
Here's what he did. He went into the woods and he saw something and what is he, 19 at the time, 20?
Mhm.
And, he's being 19 or 20 about it at the time. Like, that's just the person. He wasn't
it
like
was
going,
also his
"Ha ha."
job to document
Yeah.
his reactions and everything he sees.
'Cause it was a
He
vlog.
was going there to document his own reaction.
Yeah.
That's what he did. So I don't see why when it got to that point,
Not just ban the video
everyone's
or
all
something.
shocked, like, oh my god, he did. It's like, well, you watched half the episode before it. Like, you
Yeah.
knew that he was going there to do this one exact task.
And not
you
only
know?
that, but let's be honest with ourselves. As soon as the news publishes something like that, everybody's clicking. Everybody's
yeah.
watching.
Like,
the news doesn't get demonized for showing people dying or dead people. It's the weirdest thing.
Yep,
it's like
no,
it's not
that's
allowed.
completely true.
I don't understand why it's
Like,
not
we'll,
allowed.
we'll see bombs getting dropped in Syria and Iran.
Yeah. Oh,
and we
3,000 people
don't
died.
see that's shown on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But we don't see any backlash to them about it.
Yeah,
know?
it's just strange. And that was back in the vlog era. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I remember 2000 and it was like 2010 to 2016. Vlogging was really popular.
Yeah.
Steve-O was doing vlogs. I don't know if anybody knows who
Roman Atwood.
Roman Atwood.
You got
Yeah,
me into
thank
him, you
you.
bastard.
Yeah, dude, I was really into Roman Atwood and Vitaly and all those guys, the pranksters of
Okay,
YouTube.
yeah, I've seen
Remember those
Metallica.
guys?
Yeah.
Smile More Store and dude, some serious nostalgia in that. And
Yeah, no,
so is
David
Logan.
Dobrik was one of the main guys, still is to this day.
Dude, it's funny because I didn't really find out about David Dobrik till like a year ago. Not even.
yeah, a lot of people didn't know him. Then as soon as people started hearing more about him,
He's one of those like oddly popular people who doesn't really do it. Like his vlogs are super low par.
yeah.
They're like,
I mean, it's
3 minutes
it's
long.
mostly just his friends
Just
that
goofing
are
off.
doing the whole creating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's just the one with the camera.
exactly.
You know,
he's
it's
just
like, man, if I was
goofing
his friends,
off.
I'd be pissed off. Like, you're a millionaire, and I'm
Yeah.
making $1,000 a year.
Dude, well, he
You know?
disclosed what he was making
Mhm.
before they called it the YouTube apocalypse, and this is sort of what I was referencing.
Yeah.
And it's fucking insane. He was like, he felt like he referenced that he felt like he was a drug dealer because he was making like over $200,000 a month.
Jesus Christ.
Imagine that.
So, a lot of times, like, he buys his friends new cars.
Yeah, that's how.
And all he does is plug an ad for 15 seconds. Like, it's like, oh, check out SeatGeek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Life of an influencer.
And
Yeah.
then he'll call the company like, hey, man, I want to buy a friend a car. If I plug your ad, can you get me enough
Yeah.
money for $80,000
Dude,
to buy a
honestly,
car?
if
It's
like
dude,
say this
what?
channel had fucking, he's got like, check right now, 20
Who is it?
million. David Dobrik, like 20, 30, 40 million subscribers.
Jesus
And that's just on
Christ.
YouTube. He's probably got a bunch on Instagram.
Yeah, you think
He's
he's
got a
Facebook,
huge-
Twitter, everything.
Yeah, he's
you
got a
know?
huge following on TikTok. He was really popular on
Oh,
Vine.
yeah, I forgot about TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
18.6 million.
Yeah,
That's it?
Since
That's it?
that's a lot. It's not as much
Small
as
numbers,
Not
come
as,
on.
How many do you have?
yeah, not as much as PewDiePie.
Two? I have
Dude,
two.
we're on the race to 100, boys. We might
There we
already
go,
be
man.
there by the time
Well,
this
I mean,
comes
after
out.
this episode, you might drop a few. I'm like, oh my god, it's going
You're
down.
probably
It's
right.
going downhill, man.
That's
Like,
always the gamble Mike takes when he asks me.
Yeah,
on the
hey
podcast.
man,
Yeah,
I'm rolling the dice constantly. That's my life.
It's the way to live, man.
It's the only way to live. It's an addiction. It's a fucking disease with medication and everything. I'm figuring it out, bro.
Man, I can't stop being reckless, man.
Yeah, man.
Can't stop.
That's
won't
the whole
stop.
thing. Well, a lot of people are really shy to do something like this. You'd be surprised. I ask a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
And,
I was
you know,
I was nervous all hell when you asked me,
yeah,
man.
and you know, there's the ego, there's the reputation, and everybody thinks everything's gonna be compromised. You know, nobody's allowed to be a human or have flaws anymore.
Yeah.
You know
no,
what's sad
completely.
about that? It's
yeah.
kind of like why. Yeah, that's
Because
what.
it's gotta
That's
be perfect, Mike. That's why. What the fuck?
But the
It's like
funny thing
that's
is,
what connects us to one of another. You know what I mean? Is that you recognize my flaws, I recognize yours.
yeah,
But like, dude, like we're one and the same. You excel in parts that I don't, and I excel in parts that you don't. That's why everyone's so good together.
yeah, and
You know what I'm saying?
it's precisely what makes perfection is by
Mm-hmm.
having flaws. Because without flaws, you can't have any
There's no
progress.
yeah.
There's
yeah,
no,
yeah.
there's no refinement.
You have no idea where you
Right.
lack.
What's
where to
the
start
contrast?
From. Yeah.
What's the contrast? How do you how do you know the difference between who you were yesterday versus who you are today if you're always supposed to be perfect or something like that?
God, I couldn't
And I
live a
just
life like
yeah,
that. That's horrible.
And I try at least in even from a professional standpoint to be honest about my flaws or my wrongs as much as possible.
Completely.
Because the last thing I want to do is just pretend to be. Because then the moment when shit goes south, it's a hard pill to swallow. If you're the guy who's been guarding your flaws so long, you know.
Then when they open up, you've hidden an entire life from everyone around you. Like, oh my god, man, like you're actually like this. And it's like, well, I've always been like this.
It's hard to come back.
I just hid it under the rug.
That's why I don't have any flaws. I'm flawless.
Simple as that.
See that's your flaw there. Overconfidence.
Yeah, it's all it takes.
Dude, you got a mindset. You got a problem. We need to talk about
it. Fucking mindset, bro.
You're like, cool. You gotta cut the camera real quick and talk to him for a few minutes.
I'm flawless.
You think you can't do? I love Gary V. You think you can't do it? You know what? Fuck that, dude. Fuck that.
Oh, that guy's motivational as all hell.
Yeah,
he makes me want to like quit my job sometimes. I'll listen to his podcast at work. I'm like, I'm just ready to snap. Like, I'm out. You know, I don't know what I'm gonna go do, but like he makes you think that you can whatever you want to do right now, go do it.
Oh, dude,
So you want to be a penguin trainer? Get up. Fly to Alaska, get a penguin, do it. What are you waiting for?
Your parents don't like that? Your parents don't want that? Fuck your parents.
Look, you mean your girlfriend and your kids
Fuck
are going to miss you? I don't care.
Yeah. I don't care.
I'm like, okay, man, like, let's not get too heavy with it.
What the hell? Come on. Oh, my. Oh, gravy. That's why I spelled Gary wrong.
How does one misspell Gary? I'm curious.
He's literally looking up gravy right now.
Gravy. What's up with all these pictures of gravy? Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving.
This little fucking swoosh is? This fucking sneaker's a commodity. You and I can make this right now in China. What?
No.
Do you understand what this little fucking...
I'm going to apologize.
After all that.
Yes,
false
okay.
alarm.
Yeah, false
40 seconds of just silence. No.
Way to fucking blue ball me.
my bad, guys.
Way to blue ball me there, Mike.
Sorry for the quick tease.
My entire podcast, me listening to Gary V talk.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fucking
no,
honey
man,
me.
that was the wrong video. My bad. Hour long.
Imagine being like a teacher in front of a class and you read an entire chapter and just go,
man,
no. Turn to page 467.
Wrong book, guys. I don't even teach this school. My bad.
Fuck, this is history? I thought this was math. No wonder this ain't making sense.
I don't even have a degree, man. What am I doing here?
I'm a gym teacher. Sorry. He's in like chemistry class. No.
Just chucking beakers at the kids.
He reads the whole chapter and goes, no. And then
if you can dodge a beaker, you can dodge a ball, kid.
He looks at his hands. He goes, I'm the wrong guy. Oh, no. This is the one.
What do I do with my hands?
No business. You're in the defense. You're in the I can't because business. And that's a fucking losing game. I posted the other day about the 18 hours thing. Put up the... Can you guys just put it, like, make it a fourth of the screen? Show that video real quick for a second. On Instagram, 18 hours a day. What do you do with it? I was so intrigued by how many people were like, what the fuck? Like, you need more than 6 hours of sleep, or some of us have to take care of things, or I'm a single dad, like, you're not factoring in. Like, I'm factoring in everything. For example, I don't give a fuck. Like, sleep.
I'm factoring in everything. Like, I don't give a fuck.
It's not really factoring
To me,
anything
this
in,
is not about the semantics. This is about the binary mindset of winning or losing in life. Everybody's looking for excuses. You responding in that comments of, but what about this, but what about that, or I need more time, or this is unfair, or what about wiffle ball, or escapism, or family time, or excuses. If you want to achieve what you want to achieve at the highest level, this is a binary game. Either you're in the, yes, I will figure this out business, or no, this won't work because. Too many of you are stuck, fucking stuck, and this is not going to work because you're still bitter. You're upset. You're still upset that girl broke up with you.
Yeah, dude.
Damn, son.
Damn, that just hit me hard.
Yeah,
for real.
But dude,
wait of a real
that's
moment,
legit.
man.
honestly though, that's some shit that people need to fucking get on top of.
Oh,
bro.
no, he's never-
Yes
for
is
you.
a strategy, bro.
Because Joe Rogan touched this in one of his episodes that he
Here, get to-
he doesn't
You can pull
take
this in front of
take
you.
breaks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when he does take a break, he when he watches maybe an hour of TV a week,
Yeah.
he's like, I love that hour.
Yeah.
Because I worked my ass off for that 1 hour a week. I
Yeah.
can sit there, crack open a cold one, and I know for 1 hour I've earned it. Because like people can sit there all day and do nothing with their lives. Like, how are you okay with relaxing all the time?
Right.
You didn't work for it.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
It's not relaxed. I try
Yeah,
explaining
yeah,
this
exactly.
to people. Like some people, oh, you're always busy, blah, blah, blah. And the fact of the matter is,
Never stop hustling.
For me, I am in perpetual discomfort if I'm not doing something. And the only way I can enjoy any time off is through the wake of achievement. Or and achievement doesn't have to be this big thing on a pedestal. I mean, when you say achievement, somebody's thinking, you fucking hoisted the sails by yourself or something wild, But the fact of the matter is, it could be doing the dishes and making your bed.
I was gonna say, you clean up your house, man.
Yeah.
Mow the lawn.
It feels so much better. I'll tell you
Like,
right
hell,
now.
take a walk on your block for an hour.
Right. The difference between
Anything.
doing video games when your house is clean and playing video games when the house is dirty, there's a big fucking difference.
You can feel it in your heart and
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah.
I know for a fact when I have laundry in the basement to do and there's dishes in the sink, the longer it sits, the more I almost get okay with it because it's depression thing.
Yeah.
You become
You carry the burden.
You get lower and lower every day you let something sit and fester. But as soon as you get that out of the way and you look around, you get everything done, it's like, oh man, I want to do more now. It's about constantly going one way or the other.
Yeah, you get addicted.
You can sit there and do nothing every day.
Next thing you know, you're
But if
doing a 2-mile run.
Right, just I don't know.
Seriously.
Open my front door.
Yeah,
I'm gone.
I'm gone, bro.
My girls come
See you
like, where'd
later.
you go?
One shoe on. One shoe on. Fucking-
Later.
Are you coming back?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man.
When are we running for the next 3 miles? Seriously though, that feeling is addicting, and it does amplify the level of enjoyment or pleasure you get from the things you like doing. Because if you did the things you like doing all day, then you wouldn't really like doing them because there's no contrast.
You're gonna get bored with it eventually.
Exactly.
At some point, you're gonna get bored. That's why they say, "Oh, if you love what you do, you'll be bored a day in your life, and they'll work a day in your life." Like, no,
Yeah.
you will at some point.
Yeah, diversity is the key.
You need to keep things fresh. When you wake up in the morning, I feel like at least once a month, maybe once every 2 months, you should try something you never tried before.
Yeah.
Like if you always wanted to paint, man, go to Target or something.
Go to fucking Michael's.
Go to Michael's. Join Fabrics. Fucking learn how to sew.
Yeah.
For the pure hell of it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
seriously.
I don't know.
Dude,
Why
no.
not?
It's one hell of a skill, too. I remember learning just how to stitch in college, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to stitch. I was fucking fixing jeans for a
Yeah,
month.
my mom- yeah.
He's ripping his own jeans just
Yeah.
to
Oh, I guess I got to fix this rip. Whoops. How'd this happen?
Yeah, my mom knows how to sew. I always appreciate that. I don't know how
Dude,
she does
it's
it.
wild. My
crazy.
grandmother does
Yeah.
a lot of tailoring for me, and she has.
Yeah.
And I tell you, man, just it's a really weird, and I know this seems like it's a completely off topic, but honestly, dude, knowing how to sew is really important.
Oh no, it'll save you in
It's
the
an
bind.
old- it's
Yeah.
a
It really
very
will.
old school
You
skill.
can stitch if you know how to fucking
Yeah.
sew.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
It's like in survival tactics. If you know how to sew, man.
Yeah.
You can be golden. You can sew anything together in the wild.
Yeah, you could probably figure
know?
it out. You could probably
Yeah.
figure out how to stitch if you know how to sew.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my mom's family, my mom growing up, like that's how they like save money. That's how most families back then save money.
Yeah, no
Nowadays,
kidding.
it's just easier to go to the store and buy a
Buy a
replacement.
new pair.
Yeah.
Bro, like, oh, it's a ripping. Dude, I wore a pair of jeans for 2 years and they'll be full of holes everywhere. They're worn out. But hey, man, like, they're still holding up.
Honestly, those are the most
As long as
comfortable
my-
jeans.
long
they
as
are.
my-
They're
Yeah.
broken in so
Yeah.
well.
The
Dude,
broken in
they're
shirts,
they're
yeah.
so
Oh,
comfy.
yeah.
Rule
man.
number one
They're
with
so
pants:
comfy.
as long as my dong ain't showing, they're still good. There's still some juice left in
He
those
has
babies.
assless chaps, but as long as my dong ain't
Yeah.
flopping out, man.
Yeah, it's
like,
fine. It don't matter.
You got like
It
one
don't
ass
matter.
cheek is fully exposed. Like, Brian, you need new clothes, bro. I can see your underwear.
It's like, no, I mean, the front's good, man.
Nah,
It's
I
Like
holding up.
me undies, and you don't have to worry
As soon
about
as I
it.
get home, I'm gonna stitch that up. Don't worry.
Yeah, right. I'm on it, bro. Oh, God.
Trust me, man. I can feel the draft. But yeah,
Sometimes
That
it's
cold
nice.
air intake
Sometimes it's nice,
gets
man.
the boys nice and cool. You
that's
know,
right. In the summer, these are my summer jeans. That's
Yeah.
what I say.
It's a little temperature regulation. That's why I like to call it temperature
Yeah,
regulation.
I like
it's
that.
new. It's
Yeah.
technology. Get with
Yeah.
the times,
Right.
Karen.
It's simple technology.
It's called science.
Oh, God.
I'm solving a complex problem with a simple solution.
Yeah.
Get with it,
There
It's
you
called
go.
adaptation. God, man, some people, all of a sudden. What was I thinking though? We were talking
what
about.
Are you thinking?
I don't know.
It'll come back.
It'll come back one of these days.
We're working in a very
the
full
the cogs are spinning.
circle.
But yeah,
Is it like
dude,
Gears of War?
it's too many. It's too the Gears of War, man, in my brain. No, man, it's too often that I see that though. A lot of people like I'll give people solution. Like, you know how people will come at you with their problems and whatnot. It's like Jackie Rickson, Dr. Jackie Rickson, she was on. She had some really great points about that. It's like,
Shout
okay,
out.
if shout out, seriously, if you're coming at somebody with issues and things you want to fix and things you want to do, this and that, it's like, you better be ready. At least, and that's, I'm going to apply the same strategy that Dr. Rickson was saying, is that, honestly, if you got some issues and you're trying to hash them out, all right, I want you to tell me 3 things that you're going to do. One of them you're going to do today. You know what I mean? You're going to fucking change today.
No,
3 things
that's
you're
a
going to
beautiful way
change.
to look at it too.
Well, and one of those things you're going to change today. Like, honestly, not enough people.
Don't procrastinate.
Well, they don't believe.
Procrastinators unite
They don't
tomorrow,
believe
that's,
you know?
that's the thing. A lot of people like, oh, I want to get this done eventually. And tomorrow it's an easier day. I'll get a good night's sleep. It's like, dude, no, like get home and do it today.
Yeah, tomorrow never
like
comes
don't wait till tomorrow because you're gonna wake up and you're in the same position you were.
Yeah, Jameson always says that tomorrow never comes.
You have more to do tomorrow than you do right now.
Yeah.
It's gonna pile up the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You keep pushing stuff off, you're never gonna catch up.
Exactly. Well, it's kind of like what we were talking about with the chores. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't do what you need to do, it's a weight that's on your shoulders for the rest of the day.
Exactly.
Having done it makes the rest of the day about 5 to 10% better.
Yeah.
That's a great deal. If you ask
completely,
me.
man.
You ever listen to Jordan Peterson?
No,
He's
I don't
awesome,
think so.
man. You'd probably really like Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
He just got back on his feet. You're familiar with him?
Yeah.
I know Jameson is, but he just had a really bad spell with like anxiety medication, and it came down on him. He was like in a psych ward for some time, getting like reevaluated because he wasn't like crazy in any bad way, but
No, I can fuck with you though.
his anxiety got so bad
Yeah.
where I think he was just like paralyzed with panic attacks. But he's a fantastic psychologist of today, or what's the other one?
Psychiatrist.
Just a psychiatrist, but he's also a pretty good philosopher. Like he's got really great books out. 12 Rules of Life. I would highly recommend it if you like listening to books.
Hell yeah.
On Audible, 12 Rules of Life is amazing.
See, Anthony Francis, good friend of mine. You know
Yeah,
Anthony.
I know Anthony.
Yeah, he over the past few years, he recommends so many different books and audibles.
Yeah.
And
I think I see him sharing shit about like Alan Watts.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That's my guy.
Yeah,
Alan Watts is,
hell yeah.
is like one of my
he gave
favorites.
me one of his books 2 months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
I got a few chapters in, and then just home life.
It's tough to read.
It's sat down, and by the time I get home from work, my mind's frazzled from taking the kids and everything, and I'm just like trying to read. But
How many kids you got?
I got 2.
Oh,
Well, the
congratulations,
oldest is my stepdaughter, Summer,
Yeah.
but Ariana is my biological daughter. They're both my daughters.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. She's a boy
Dad
now.
life.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
That must be fun.
It's
Gnarly is a good
man.
word. Yeah,
Especially during this whole entire thing, the next
Oh,
few years are
God.
gonna come. It's terrifying. It really is.
Mike, what do you mean? You know about that? You're like 57?
Yeah, I got like 9 kids.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, some are
He's
floating
a
around.
grandpa right now.
Floating around, literally. They're in the river. I'm going to pick them up.
Mike, what are you doing in the river?
I dropped
What are
them
you
off
doing in the
during the
river?
summer, and it's it's November.
Where did the time go? I went home to do
God,
some
time
laundry.
flies when you're having
I
fun,
dropped them
guys.
off at the pond.
I went home to do some laundry
July.
man, and-
Yeah. I dropped him off at camp. I don't know what happened.
Dropped them off at the pond in July. No.
The longest trip to the gas station of my life, man.
I went to go get smokes, and next thing I knew, it was November.
I guess I am a bad father.
Oh god,
Dude,
man.
no, that's a job in and of itself. What do you do now? We were just talking about that.
Oh yeah, work at Adapt Solutions.
Yeah.
I make God, I'm blanking now. The modules that go into the computer systems for COVID tests. And
That's wild.
right now, it's mostly COVID tests because it's such a high demand for it.
This is the guy making all the COVID tests. So,
Yeah, so,
for,
I mean,
for
I'm-
whoever
I'm-
wants
I'm-
to dispute
Jesus.
the results, this
Right,
is the
don't-
guy.
Don't put me out like that.
Just
I'm gonna get some
throwing you
angry,
under the
I'm gonna get
bus.
some angry phone calls, man. I'm like, I just assemble it, man.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to do. But we do we make the modules for cancer testing, drug testing, pretty much any kind of disease that's possibly out there.
Do you know what kind of tests they are?
Oh,
Like I know there's a couple different kinds. Like is
Mhm.
it the quick one or the longer
well,
one?
we do both. The modules we're
Okay.
building right now are going to pretty much government officials, and they can get results back in 6 to 8 minutes.
Dude, you really blew my mind when you came in saying that. I'm like, dude, that's what you do? I thought you were doing like construction or something.
No,
like
I
that.
used
That's
to
wild.
do construction a couple of years ago. That's when I was traveling all around the country.
What?
Yeah, it was
No way. Talk about that.
It was a gnarly
What'd you
job.
do?
It was worked for EPF, Engineer Polymer Floors.
Yeah.
And it was epoxy and concrete flooring, and we do a lot of jobs around New England, like Jersey, Connecticut. But a couple times I went to North Carolina. I went to Minnesota, the Mall of Americas. I was
Minnesota,
Yeah,
Dude,
I was right
Mall of
across the
Is there
street.
an actual roller coaster?
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there?
I was right
Dude,
across the street from Mall of America. I
that's
went there a
alright,
couple
that's cool.
times, and it was gnarly.
Mike, we're going.
And went to California,
know.
Colorado. Yeah, it was
Actually,
pretty
I'm
nuts.
just gonna get-
Colorado was
Cool.
was a sketchy place.
Why?
We were in Pueblo, which is like southwest Colorado, so it's like the desert area.
Oh no shit! So you're
And,
like down
yeah.
by
And we all panicked
Arizona and
we
Utah.
all panicked for cold weather because without Colorado.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fucking trippy.
Yeah. And we go down there, and one morning we get into the bus to go to the job site, and it was 34, 35 degrees in the morning, and by noon it was 96.
What?
Yeah. And then
How do you dress for
we
that?
were fucking dying, man.
Very carefully.
Yeah, dude, yeah, right. You're like buckled up.
We're hoodies to the job site by noon. We're keeling over.
Yeah.
You know? And
What were you building?
we did epoxy flooring.
Oh, gotcha.
So pretty much we pretty much made a concrete aggregate in a sense. They were 12 times stronger than normal concrete.
Wow.
So it was a lot for industrial use, so the floors wouldn't crack underneath pressure.
Yeah, yeah.
And things like that. Yeah, but I lived a pretty crazy life on the road. I did that
Holy
for
shit! How
about
long?
8 months.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you did it for 8 months.
Yeah.
And you went from so you're in Colorado. Where else?
California, North Carolina,
You
Minnesota.
fly out there? Or do you
Yeah,
drive
yeah,
out
flow.
there? No shit. Well,
Yeah.
shout out to like Eddie and I know Jeremy for a while working with Rockworks.
Eddie Spaghetti.
Eddie Spaghetti building rock climbing walls.
Okay,
They were out in
yeah.
Tahoe for some time doing
No
that.
shit. That's cool.
Dude, that's
Y-
crazy
yeah,
though.
yeah,
How'd
it
you
was-
do line up a gig like that?
I was looking for work. I forget what I was doing before that. I was laid off for a
Yeah.
couple months, and I just saw him. I lived in Three Rivers, my mom's house back then, and it was right on the road over Sicko Plaza, that little place across from Sicko. And I saw him looking for workers, so I went and applied. Like, hey man, yeah, like, I got the job. And I went home that day, and they called me like, hey, can you start tomorrow? We're going to Jersey for 2 weeks.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, okay, but it sucked because we'd be gone for 2-3 weeks at a time on a job site, come back for 12 hours, 14 hours, and I'm back on a plane to a different state.
Yeah.
So I never saw my own room. I come back to my room, I felt like a stranger in my own house at times.
Yeah.
You know, it was
Once you
it
got
was-
back?
It was weird, yeah.
Yeah.
It messed with you, and going from time zone to time zone every other week,
Mm.
it just, I didn't know where I was half the time.
Yeah, not getting enough of a break. I can imagine. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
add up
Because
after a while.
in Colorado we had 3 weeks, and we never had that day off unless you asked for a day off. My one day off, actually, this is a crazy story. I'm walking to the Packy,
Yeah.
and this guy stops and asks me to my phone. I'm like, yeah, man, sure, whatever. And this guy's tatted up, you know what I mean? He looks like a sketchy character. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I trust him, you know, like, I'm a nice guy.
Right.
And we started walking and talking. He's telling me how this guy was cheating. He found him cheating with his girl or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulls up his shirt. He's like, when I see him, I'm gonna kill him.
What was
Straight up.
What was under his shirt?
A gun. A
Oh
straight up gun.
shit!
I'm like, bro.
What the
I'm like,
fuck?
So
we're
much
wa-
for that
we're-
sketchy
we're-
guy being
we were-
trustworthy.
We were walking for like a half mile together. He's like, yeah, man. So, you know, if a car pulls up, run. And so nonchalant. I'm like, wait, like, you kidding? He's like, yeah, man. And he pulls open his button up. There's a bulletproof vest on. Shit, you not.
Dude,
I'm like-
this guy's like,
I'm like,
you
bro, like,
walked
what-
into a sting operation.
I'm a
What
white
the
guy from
fuck?
Palmer, Massachusetts, all right? Like, I'm
What
not
did I
used to this.
stumble ass backwards into?
And he's like, oh, no, man, I'm used to this shit.
I'm just pouring
he's like,
fours
he's
here.
like, yeah, I'm
You're
pouring the
chill.
bloods, man. Like, it's no biggie to me. I'm like, yeah, I'm not, though.
Yeah. Let's circle back to the fact that I'm not. You may be. I'm not.
Leave
Right,
me
I'm
out
like,
of
you have
this.
an extra vest lying around
Yeah.
somewhere that I can
What
put
the
on?
Fuck.
With all due respect, I'm gonna have my Slurpee over here.
Yeah.
Back to my hotel.
You do what you gotta
And
do.
he's
You
like,
keep
hey,
that
man, you
phone
wanna,
on second
so
thought,
you want
I'm
to
out.
kick it for a few? I'm like, oh, man, I got to do a bunch of laundry. Meet me at the laundry room. He's like,
Yes.
all right, I'll meet you over there. And I literally sit and walk to the laundry room. I booked my hotel room, lock doors, pull the blinds down. I'm like underneath the bed, like looking at him. I'm like, oh man, he's literally looking the parking lot for me.
Dude,
I'm like, dude, for 3 days,
Fuck
I didn't leave
that.
my room.
what a
until I-
deadly combo! Like
He was
the
still
over-
looking at you to this day. He just found you because of this
Oh
podcast.
god, dude! I'm gonna get a call from Pueblo, Colorado. Like, oh god, man,
Gotta
Get
go.
down to me.
What a deadly combo! Overly kind stranger who's also trying to kill somebody. Like,
Right,
hey man,
yeah.
you want to hang out after this? I just gotta
I
whack
thought- I
somebody
think
in a
he-
city.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
got a
cool.
gun and a bulletproof vest, by the way. No
Right,
big
no, I
deal.
saw, I'm like, oh my god, this is real.
Yeah, man. No, I'm down to chill later. I just gotta kill this dude.
Yeah,
in like 5 minutes.
One,
He's
one
gonna be
good thing
here.
came out of it. I adopted a cat while I was there, pretty much.
No way.
There was I couldn't bring him home on the plane because of all the
Ah,
restrictions.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of stray cats in my hotel. There's one little kitten, but probably like a little kitten this big.
Yeah.
And he walks up to me one night, and he was scared shitless of people. And the gas station down the road, they sold cat food. So I went and got him a bunch of dry food and wet food. And every night, I'd sit outside and put food out for him. And one day, it broke my goddamn heart. We're in the truck going to the job site. And as we're driving past my hotel door, I see the cat sitting there, looking up the door, waiting for me to come out. And I was like, oh, man.
Ah, damn.
And like, I left.
That's tough. That's how all cats become owned cats. That's how I ended up with Sally.
Oh, no kidding.
I had a cat named
So
Sally.
I left that job about a week early to go to a different state for another job. And my buddy Mike that was working there, he texts me like, bro, like every morning your cat's still at your door looking for you. I'm like, bro, like bring them home to me, man.
Jeez.
You know? Yeah, I called I called the airline and everything. Like, oh, you're gonna have to get all the shots done. It was gonna cost me like $400-$500 to get everything done for him. I was like, man. Yeah,
that's
but shout out to Pablo. That's what I named him, man.
Is that your cat's name?
Yeah, Pablo from Pueblo. Yeah.
Nice.
That's too funny, man. Run into a guy who's trying to then kill
Oh yeah, man. I met
somebody,
I met some pretty crazy people when I was in Jersey one time.
Colorado's wild.
Yeah,
those states, it's crazy because like you can have one idea because Colorado also is like home to Aspen and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My girl's father lives over in Colorado Springs.
Right, like really high end.
It's a beautiful area. But I told him I worked in Pueblo. He's like, oh yeah, no one goes to Pueblo.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, no shit.
No.
We actually just fly if we have to drive through instead.
If we're gonna go to Pueblo, we say might as well go to Arizona.
Yeah, we just fly. Fuck that.
But when I was working in Jersey one time, I was down at the bar at the hotel. There's what's the name of it? The Tilted Kilt.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is it's kind of like a Hooters type deal.
Okay.
Brock
And
Lesnar used to be sponsored by them in UFC. It's the
No,
only reason I
really?
remember.
no kidding. But
He's actually their biggest fan.
I
Deo.
couldn't tell.
I mean, they do. Yeah.
He wears a kilt on Sundays.
I do.
I've always wanted
one.
to get a kilt. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm at the
You
bar,
gotta learn how to play the bagpipes. It's not that easy.
Maybe.
and
Yeah.
we were on the interstate.
Yeah.
And I needed a pack of smoke. So I asked the guy next to me, like, hey, man, you got a car? I need to ride down the road. We're on interstate. I can't walk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I got you. No worries. So we get to the gas station about 12:30 at night. He's like, hey, man, bars have to close. You want to go to a party with me? I'm like, fuck it, man. Why not? You know, my last night in Jersey, he seemed like a good guy.
You got nothing to lose.
We pull into Camden, New Jersey, which if you look at Camden, New Jersey, it's bad. Like, it's like Harlem of Jersey. You know what I mean?
The gas stations only have scratch tickets.
Yeah, right. We got bars on our window. We pulled down a road, and I see cops and ambulances and people getting covered with white sheets. I'm like, bro, like, let's get out of here. And we literally pull behind where this is all happening into an apartment complex. And this giant gay, the 300-pound dude walks up, and he gives him like a password. He shakes his hand some crazy way.
Yeah.
And he gets a thumbs up, and the gate opens. I'm like, bro, what
are we about to do here?
Like,
What did I sign up for?
This is
how the devils buy souls.
Stop, right? You know what I mean? Like,
You said a party.
and we walk like 5 flights of stairs on this back porch, and I walk in, find out it's an all-black biker clubhouse.
What does he mean? What do you mean? Like just like African American people?
It's African Americans only. Like, and there's literally like signs.
You're the only white guy there?
There's legit signs saying no whiteys allowed. And I walk in, and it's like an 80s movie where the record stops, like, screech, you know? And everything just shuts down, and they're just...
The fuck?
I see, like, guns on the table, drugs over there. I'm like...
Hey, man.
Hey, man, he's gone. I'm like, bro, like, what do I do, man?
You're by yourself?
Yeah, like, he's giving dabs to everybody. I'm like, bro, like, what do I do? He's like, oh, go up to the bar and ask for a shot. I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea.
You sure it's gonna be a shot? A shot of what?
Yeah.
Like, there's gonna pull out a gun and shoot me, you know?
We're talking about alcohol here, right?
And,
Still, like,
I
alcohol?
went to the bar. I'm like, hey, man, you got a shot? Let's go for what? And I'm like, I'm shaking in my goddamn sneakers, man. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, like, just a whiskey, whatever you got.
Yeah, I'm not picky.
Slide it to me. Throw it back. Music kicks on. Everyone's cool again. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hang on the corner here. Yo, white boy. I'm like, that's me, obviously.
No, the other one.
You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, instinctually, I almost looked around. You know, like, who are you talking to? Like, it's me.
Yeah.
The other one.
It's gotta be.
And he's like, yo, come take a seat. I'm like, yeah. He's like, come take a seat. I'm like, all right, yeah, don't tell me twice.
Yes, sir, right away.
Well, this seat
And I
sucks
s-
anyways.
yeah, I'm like, I didn't like that spot either. Anyway, man, like, thank you.
Yeah.
I started the shoot with them within 20 minutes, bro. We're drinking beers, having a great old time. And the guy at Brahms was getting into a fight with other dudes. He's like, yo, Brum, we gotta go. And he's like, no, white boy's staying, man. I'm like, oh man, you know, I gotta get back. I got a train to catch in the morning. He's like, nah, you're staying, Whitey. I'm like, oh God, what the fuck do I do? You know what I mean?
Dude.
And like I asked my time on the way out, I was like, yo, if you're in Camden, someone messes with you, tell them that you know us. I'm like, I'm never going back here a day in my life, man. Like, I'm staying far away from this entire state. Like, fuck Jersey.
Long story short, don't go to Camden.
Right, yeah. Just cross it off your list. If you're driving through Jersey, don't go to Camden.
That's
If you
gotta be
do,
one of the best stories I've ever heard in my
if you
life.
do, man, look them up. Tell you know white boy.
You're the only white guy any of those guys know.
right. Dude, they all thought I was a cop.
I go, yeah, I know white boy. Oh, Brian?
Yo, right, like, I love that little white boy. Yeah, I thought he was a cop. He's a cop, ain't he? I'm like, bro, I'm not a cop. I swear.
Dude, that's a fucking awesome story, man.
There were some wild times on the road, man. I
Holy
worked out in Compton for a few weeks out in California, like straight
Jesus,
up Compton.
where did they have you pouring these floors?
Yeah,
For,
man.
like,
the
everywhere and
straight up-
anywhere.
Straight up ghetto spots.
Yeah.
Like the hotel we were at out in Compton.
I guess that's the only place that needs floors.
It was brutal, man. Like, they were
No one else needs floors.
Yeah, like apparently our prices were so cheap that anyone could afford it.
Your guy was there. Whoever your boss was, is on the low end of the floor world.
Was Mr. Wunto. We went to California.
Mr.
We were,
Wunto?
we were told that we were going to San Francisco,
Uh-huh.
and we get off on the airport, and I see last exit for Golden Gate Bridge, all that. We drive past it.
Next thing I know, we're in Oakland.
There's like 5 of us. Yeah, we're like, hey, aren't we staying in San Fran? It's like, no, we're staying over at Ingleside. And my buddy Smokey, he grew up in Compton. He's like, no, drop me off. It's like, I'm not going back there, bro. I made it out of there. And I'm like, dude, what's Ingleside?
Can't pay me
He's like,
enough
Brian,
to
we're
go."
going to Compton. I'm like, oh, no.
No
I'm
way,
going to make a
yeah.
mass. I'm like, but we're working in San Fran. He's like, oh, no, we're working in the heart of Compton. I'm like,
Oh my god.
bro, like, why they come on this job? It's like, well, if I told you guys were working in Compton, no one would have came on the job.
Oh my
Well,
God.
yeah, you're right. You know, and
Dude, who was telling me that their boss was doing shit like that?
it was messed
Dr.
up,
Dre?
man.
Dude, was
Deal
was
double
it
G.
you, bro? No, I'm trying to think. Somebody was
Could've-
just telling me a story where their boss was like, "Oh, we're gonna do something," and then they're like, "Oh no, oh you know what? I think it was Eddie. Shout out to Eddie again. Yeah, it was like, oh yeah, no, we won't be working with these guys." And then he goes, "Oh, why? Well, I know if I told you we'd be working with these guys, you wouldn't have came in." You know?
Yeah, dude, it was messed up, man. Like, we couldn't, because he only got one rental car. There was 6 of us, and he stayed over in the Bay Area. He took the rental truck that we had and went and stayed out in the Bay. He didn't want to stay at our hotel, you know, because he's the VP.
Thanks, bud. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
right.
And he leaves us with no car, no nothing. So we're stuck in this Motel 6 in this rundown plaza.
Nice.
And-
Good start. Good
Yeah.
start.
And me and Smokey go to the
Sounds
Packy one
start.
night, and I walk out. And he's like fighting with some dude, like yelling back and forth. And the guy saw him. He's an African American guy, like pretty built. And the guy starts telling him, he's like, oh, you ain't from around here, homie. And Smokey's like, bro, I grew up here. Like, this is my hood. It's like, I'm an OG. I'm like, oh my God, man. Like, I gotta get out of this job. You know? So it was like, Brian, just go. Get out of here. He's like, I can handle this. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna argue with that, man. I'm like, you got this.
If you say so.
Right. Yeah, dude, that's
You have
why
to twist my arm.
after that, I got back to Mass, and I'm like, yeah, I think that's the end of my run with
Yeah, is that when you quit there?
Yeah, I was like, dude, I can't keep doing this kind of shit. And I went to Salem that following Saturday with a couple of buddies. And my boss, the VP, was texting me,
Yeah.
laying it on me, calling me like a pussy, this and that.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like, are you serious? Like, you're the vice president of a company.
Yeah.
You can't be texting me this. He's like, oh,
Right.
you're not a man. You're not this. You're not that. I'm like, bro, like, this is not professional by any means, dude. And he's like, oh, I don't give a shit.
Well, like he's keep trying to just bring you back to these really
yeah,
harsh areas.
yeah. He's like, you got a job next week to go to. I'm like, bro, I quit. Look, I don't have a job to go
See
to
ya.
next week. You know what I mean? Like,
Between this and the guy trying to kill
You're
somebody,
right.
and
Like all across the United States, man,
Yeah.
I've had too many scenarios where I almost died.
every time,
You know what I
every
mean?
time
Cycle
Brian,
keeps repeating.
yeah, every time Brian goes somewhere, he's like, "Oh, phew, thank God that's over. What's the next job? Okay, well that can't be nearly as bad as
Keep
the last
experiencing.
place."
Oh yeah, things-
Sure as shit.
the guy I roomed with, we'd fight 24/7
Oh.
for some weird reason. We straight fisticuffs like 2 in
Yeah.
the morning. See, he was a massive snorer,
Yeah.
and there were times
Oh, yeah,
I
like
was, I was
sleep
I was
apnea?
beat, and we'd be on like 2.5 weeks without I didn't get a day of rest. And I'd start throwing pillows at him. Like,
Yeah.
dude, shut the hell up.
Dude, that's rough. I've
And-
slept in the same room with somebody who just snores like a
Oh, it's
wood
horrible.
chipper, dude.
Yeah, when we'd wake up and
Why you gonna call me out?
we'd literally just punch each other a few
Ploof.
times, and then go to bed.
Yes.
Wake up like a black eye and a busted lip. Like, what happened last night? I'm like, dude, Ben wouldn't even shut up.
Yeah, dude,
You know,
seriously.
like, Brian, you guys can't room together anymore.
That'll get you going. Honestly, if you can't get a goddamn good night's
Oh,
sleep and then
yeah.
have to do that for a whole day,
yeah, I'm miserable,
the
bro.
shit
It was-
that
it was
you
like-
do,
it-
you
it
know,
was
like-
it was like 12, 14-hour days at times.
yeah, you need 20 hours of sleep to deal with that kind
yeah,
of with a day
completely,
like that.
man. No kidding about that.
Dude, I'm gonna. You want to take a quick bathroom break?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, we don't
I
have
was-
to do anything. We're back. Little
Fine,
drain break.
yeah, you gotta turn the main fan.
Fluids had been flowing. I gotta thank you. Then thank you for the hat on
yeah,
air.
no worries, bro. I
Dude,
thought-
this
I
is
thought, like-
clutch.
Yeah. I
Well,
saw we're a half of your podcast.
Gift
so I
for
figured.
Brian. I am gonna turn it around. We all got a chance to see though. Birds aren't real. Deal with it.
It's not Mike unless he turns his hat around. Now
Dude,
it's
deal
I'm,
game
with it.
time.
I'm the same way, man. I can only wear a snapback backwards.
Oh, sometimes I like wearing the hat forwards or backwards. Depends on what I'm doing. You know what I
I
mean?
guess
Yeah.
I'm just lame. I like it
My-
forward.
yeah. Well, you are.
You rock
lame,
it well,
so
man. Better than
listen.
I could.
No, dude. So going into what you were doing for work, stories are hilarious. By the way,
I
you had me
appreciate that.
laughing to myself.
Glad my life's funny to you, Mike.
I'm glad my pain gives you
Right.
pleasure.
Me almost dying
Yeah,
multiple
dude.
times. Like, this guy is hilarious.
This dude got in some close brushes. Nearly was on a hit job. No, dude.
Oh man.
I don't know if you guys came across that tweet from Elon Musk. He got like tested in the same place 4 times in the same day by the same nurse. 2 of them came back positive. 2 of them came back negative. How much of what do you know that these tests do?
Oh, I have no idea.
You have no idea. They
Not
just
even
kind
a
of.
clue. Like, 'cause we just bought it out with a company, Rihanna.
What is it like? Those brushes do you make that go into people's
No,
noses?
we make the actual whole entire housing systems and all the firmware, the software,
Oh shit!
everything that goes into
so
the
it's
actual.
like a computer unit.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Oh,
completely.
wow.
Like I what I build is the actual manifolds that the computer reads off of, and they go into the housing system that holds the whole entire robotic arms
Yeah.
that put the samples into the tubes and all that kind of stuff.
Nice. How'd you find out about that to come full circle? So,
I
so
pretty
you
much-
left the last guy because that was
Yeah, I worked
fucking
over
crazy.
in I worked in Munson for about 1.5 years.
okay.
And then when COVID started hitting in March, I have asthma.
hmm
My girlfriend's pregnant.
Asthma sucks. I have
yeah,
asthma too.
yeah, no kidding. You just do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just horrible, man.
I mean, honestly, I can tell you right now. I'll say it to you and anybody else who's listening who has it.
Mhm.
Asthma can be easily mitigated by just health. Like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
healthier you are, the less the symptoms are. Like, I haven't gotten medication for it, and I was taking like an inhale, like a Pro Air.
I had
which-
that. I had that
for
before. Yeah,
a while.
Yeah,
And it's like you can get
Like
off
your,
of
your
it.
daily inhaler.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I never took it daily. I never went by the prescription rules. I took it like once every other day until I didn't need it anymore, and I
See, that-
barely ever get it.
Whenever I go to my doctor, my whatever it's called, like a pathologist. I never know the actual name for it.
Oh, it's a pulmonologist.
Yeah, pulmonologist. That's what
Yeah.
it is. And I've known him since I was a baby, I guess, because I was born with a collapsed lung. I was born premature with
Mm-hmm. no
a collapsed lung.
shit.
Yeah, I got a scar up in my chest.
But they had to fix it.
Yeah.
Surgery.
Yeah, I pretty much
Wow.
technically only have like a half a lung on that side.
Wow,
To an
no
extent.
kidding.
Yeah. So back in the day, I used to tell people, like, I don't know, they got into a bar fight and got stabbed.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
better
And,
story.
and people
Like
believe
Jeremy with
Yep.
his claw.
People believe that. I'd be at the wall before, and this is like 2 years had passed by. Like, this guy
The
told you
wall.
about who got stabbed by that guy at a bar. I'm like, bro, no, you're not talking about me. I never got stabbed.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
Oh shit! You
You've
forgot
been,
you told
you've
that
been
story.
telling
Yeah.
people that? Like, bro, no, it's a joke, man.
Dude, that's hilarious.
But yeah, the past year before COVID happened, I was working at Lamco Tech out in Munson, doing laminating and coating, nylon fabrics for a lot of military and medical and governmental use. And that's where I actually received my first asthma attack ever, my entire life.
What?
I was
Oh,
at
no
work one day
shit.
and I started breathing really heavy, so I went to my boss. I'm like, hey, I got.
So you developed asthma as an adult?
I had it since I was a kid. I just never had an asthma attack.
Oh wow!
So I never knew what was happening. I'm like, I'm breathing heavy. I went to my car, and I couldn't even breathe inwards like a half
Wow.
a second. Call my mom. And I'm gasping for air. I'm telling them, like,
Dude,
hey,
isn't it
you
the
gotta
worst?
call
had-
an ambulance because I can't drive.
I
you
get that
know?
shit as a kid. Like I remember that all the time.
No
I've never
shit.
been brought to the hospital a few times in my childhood. Even when I was hanging out with you
Yeah.
once,
Yeah, I remember that time.
it's hit me, and you know that was
Scary
years
shit.
ago now. But yeah, like you're
Yeah.
breathing through a coffee straw. It's the fucking
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah, ever since that day, it took me about 6 months to get everything corrected with my dosage and everything, and I'd be at work the next 6 months, and it would kill me, you know, and I'd have to leave maybe once a month,
Yeah.
just because my breathing, excuse me, was acting up because we're melting plastic onto nylon fabric,
Oh god.
and I
Is there
was
fumes?
running the machine, and we had a whole entire hood system that was to take the exhaust out.
Where was this again? This is
Munson.
before where you work now. Okay.
Yeah, it was over in Munson. And when COVID hit, my girlfriend's pregnant. I had an 8-year-old daughter. My mom's elderly. So I told him, like, hey, man, like, you know, if people aren't going to wear masks around here and this and that, I can't be here until we get everything sorted out through
Right.
the entire country, you know? And it was April something, mid-April, April like 12th something, I got furloughed, which I was temporarily laid off. And then on June 7th, I got a letter in the mail. They sent me a letter, didn't even call me, which was kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, and they said, "Oh, you're officially laid off."
Oh shit.
You know, and I was like, "Oh, that sucks." But
That is kind of a bummer. They wouldn't even.
yeah,
Spare the time to
I got
call
the
you.
letter the day before my return to work date.
You know that letter is like a template.
Yeah,
Fucking lame.
It was because I was supposed to return to work on June 8th, and I got the letter on June 7th. It's telling me that you're not coming back, this and that, and I was like, dude, like I called them, like, oh yeah, we can't afford to keep you on.
Ugh.
I'm like, all right, whatever, and my daughter was born just a few days after that.
Oh shit.
On June 8th, yeah. And that was scary.
Yeah.
You know, going
What's
to-
that
yeah,
like, dude?
It was beyond terrifying.
At least you had some experience since you've already been, you know,
Yeah.
being the father
Yeah.
figure for somebody else.
Yeah. I
for
mean,
some time.
it helped, but then it was also like a whole new
Yeah. I mean,
ordeal,
well, because
you know?
like the real deal. You're
because
the
her due
Whole
date
new
was
chapter.
the goddamn
yeah.
pedophilia. You ever see?
We're sounding a little off for a
Yeah,
second.
no.
What the fuck did you just say to
Yeah,
me?
Well, pedo means kid, so you could
Okay,
be like
yeah.
a pediatric,
Okay,
you know,
we're talking about
endocrinologist or
kids.
something.
When I hear kids, I'm going to tell a
Yeah,
pedo something.
Listen, pedo. Yeah, I know. Because they'll say, "Oh yeah, pedo," like, "Oh, he's a pedo," but it's like that's just saying kid in Latin, like a child in
Because
Latin.
it sounds like a Charlie from It's Always Sunny when he's like,
Yeah.
I'm a full-on rapist. You mean a philanthropist? Yeah.
Yeah,
Again,
full-on
a lot of,
rapist.
Like,
No, a
kids,
philanthropist.
elderly,
Yeah.
this and that.
No, but seriously, no. Oh God, what the hell's the name of the movie? Brother, Where Art Thou with George Clooney.
Oh, I love that movie.
That's such a good movie.
Yeah.
Remember he was saying, God, "I'm the goddamn pedophilia." You know what I mean? Like he's a
Yeah, that was based off
He's
the
a
Odyssey,
suitor.
actually.
Yeah.
Full
Come
circle.
full
Odyssey.
Full
circle.
circle again.
Shit, son.
Came back around.
Pretty good.
Wait, what did we mention the Odyssey before?
Yeah,
I did briefly
during-
about
when
the
we were talking
sirens
about
and
the
the
sirens
mermaids.
and everything.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Talk
Full-
about a real circle,
Yeah.
dude. There's that whole
Full
movie. Have you seen that movie?
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
It is based off of the
Yeah,
Odyssey.
Yeah, it is.
completely.
Yeah.
Like John Goodman, the big guy with
Yeah,
the eye
big- oh, I
patch.
know- I know
he's
John
he's
Goodman.
the Cyclops.
From well, not from specifically, but he was in The Big Lebowski.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
One of the best movies of all
Yeah,
time.
great
Roseanne.
movie.
Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Roseanne,
I thought I was
too.
going for Roseanne too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I never really watched it, but
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, and when you're the actual father, I think shit shakes things up. A
Oh
bit.
yeah, so when we got to the hospital the night for her, my daughter's due date, because
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't very active that day, she was kind of getting nervous. We're like the day from the due date, she's not really moving. So we were like, hey, let's go get it checked out.
Yeah.
Got there about 9:15, 9:30, and it was almost midnight till I was let in the room to know what was going on. I was in the waiting room for about 2 hours plus, pacing back and forth, calling my girlfriend. She wasn't answering for a half hour at one point.
Yeah.
and no one's telling me anything. She finally asked, like, hey, you can come up now. And it was still another hour after that till I was let into the room. And, dude, it was terrifying not knowing what was happening.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you had to sit out because of the pandemic and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Dude, that's a big year
Yeah.
for you then.
Yeah, we couldn't. We were there in the hospital for about 2 full days.
So how old is she? She's just a few months?
She'll be 6 months and a week and a half.
Wow.
Damn.
Yep.
Well, congrats again.
Thank you,
Definitely.
man.
That's
Appreciate
Fresh
it.
out of the
Yeah,
oven.
Ready to go.
Brand new human.
Yeah, we couldn't leave our room at all. And there's a
Yeah.
vending machine right next to my room that every goddamn minute I was like, dude, I'm starving.
Yeah, you had to
Like,
hit
it's
that.
like it's right there. Like,
hit
can I
that
just,
nature's
can I
path.
just run out and,
Yeah.
you grab some snacks? You know, it was brutal.
That's lame.
Yeah.
Some of it's crazy some of the things you had to dodge. So what would you do if what's your passion, man? So you're working at this job.
Yeah. My passion, that's a hard.
You know what I mean?
Hard thing to pinpoint.
I know it seems like a pressure point.
Oh yeah,
To kind of stab somebody. That's kind of like one of those
it's like-
questions you get when you were a kid and you're like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? What do you want to do?
When I was a kid, I actually wanted to be a cop for most of my
Really?
life. I went to
kidding.
college, HCC,
for criminal
for
justice?
criminal justice. Yeah, and then I realized I hated cops.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. The guys would come in and speak to our class. I realized
Yeah.
I can never work with someone like you.
Yeah.
Like you're.
It's a tough
you
job.
don't
though.
have an open mind
Yeah.
about like certain things in life. Like you're
Yeah, you
you're like
can't-
your life is your job.
You can't,
know?
in other words, have a creative or fluctuating mindset.
Exactly.
Because, like, think about it. If you were to be somebody to execute that job, at least as efficiently as humans know how, you'd have to have this laser focus, one way or the highway
constantly.
type of
Yeah.
mentality.
And so you, like when you they sit and
Or
take,
the-
when you take your uniform off at night, your job's still
Yeah, you're
a
still
part
a
of
cop.
you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I didn't like being pigeonholed like that.
Pigeons, bro. Don't stick
Damn,
him. Don't get me started on pigeons. Full circle. Don't get me started on pigeons.
Circle. God damn.
But
Like the
yeah,
Olympics
I
up in here with the
realized that,
circles.
City surveillance people.
Dude, the cops are pigeons, man. That's what it is. pigeons are part of the cop force.
Yeah.
You know?
They're part of the whole system, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but over the years, I've been trying to find what I want to do. Years ago, I kind of started writing a horror movie. That was one thing I was really into.
Wait, what were you doing?
I was writing a horror movie.
No way.
Yeah, I pretty much
Dude,
had
that's
I
awesome.
had the basis for it and everything.
You like creative writing and shit like that?
Yeah, I used to be really into it. Yeah. When I was in high school and everything, even middle school, my favorite class was English, with writing poetry and things along that lines. I've always liked songwriting. I've written quite a few songs. I'm just not good at actually putting them to use. You know what I mean?
That's all right. That's actually like from what I've heard, that you can actually make a career off of that, just writing songs. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can be a ghostwriter.
Dude, what have
millions.
you tried producing anything? Working with like any software like GarageBand?
No. I mean, like,
Dude, you
like
should
my
dabble.
buddy Kyle Ebling and Anthony Francis, they're great guitarists. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal guitarists. And a lot of times I'm in with Kyle. We'll be sitting there having a few drinks, and he'll just start jamming, and I'll just kind of just break out in song for the hell of it. And we'll sit
I
there- we'll
love
sit there-
that.
we'll sit-
I
we'll
miss
sit there
that
for like an
shit
hour
so
and
much.
And just kind of freestyle random songs out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, and most of them suck, but a lot of times it's just
Dude, those
fun.
are the moments
Yeah.
we live for.
Hell yeah.
I
hell
was
yeah.
telling you, I'm going to tell you again, like I told you before, too, man,
Mm-hmm.
based off some of the stories and the shit this guy was telling me. He had me rolling on the floor last time we were talking together prior to this. And kind of this is how that's how we came to be right here, right now. Because through, too, you've been hands down one of the most supportive people since
I
this has
appreciate
started.
it,
You've
man.
always
Yeah.
said some nice things about it.
Well,
And
dude, first
I
time
can tell you,
I've been listening since the beginning, man.
Yeah.
When I saw you coming out with it, I was stoked for you.
dude,
And I really was.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate it because just to be fully transparent about it from the inside looking out. When you're doing something like this, there's a lot of doubt in it. Like, oh, do people even care? Is anybody even
yeah.
listening?
No,
like, what's the
completely.
fucking point? You have these thoughts, and people like you and some others out there, Tyler, if you're listening, and you know who you are. You know, we've come up and said things to me.
So you gave me a
Those
shout out.
things
You gave me a shout out on the episode
mean a lot,
with
you know?
with Ian.
Yeah.
Ian Simpson gave me a shout out. And I heard that. I'm like, that's so dope.
Yeah,
man.
man.
I felt
Awesome, yeah.
like I was like partly famous. I'm like, yo, I heard my name on a podcast.
Dude, I remember. Dude, we could take this. We could take this way back, dude, to like the Donkey
Yeah,
House.
I told him that's why I
Remember
met
that,
you.
The Solid Dudes.
Yeah, the Solid
I
Dudes.
still have
Yes,
that
bro.
video.
That's why I met
if
you, man.
anybody
Yeah.
wants me to release that again,
Oh,
I
do it.
can.
Do it, bro.
But I feel like it'd be pretty controversial.
You gotta send it to me, man, because that was, I'll never forget. At one point, the music stops, and on the video you hear it,
Yeah.
and Mike is just, my bad.
Yeah, dude, I put across the screen in big text. Yup, that was me. This was like a freaking. You were there,
I
Dale.
know,
Dude, you
it
drove
was
me
crazy.
home that
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
Oh my god, that's right, dude. I got wasted. I found a 10 on the ground, like a $10 bill. So
Yeah.
I was drinking the jungle juice.
Oh, yeah,
and
you
this
were
is
hitting
back,
it
Eddie.
hard.
Eddie, I was telling him, anybody if you want party advice from me, rule number 1: don't drink the jungle
No,
juice.
no,
Never. Bring
You
your
learned
own
a
shit.
life
It
lesson
looks
that night.
inviting. It looks inviting.
It looks very
man.
inviting.
But no.
You learned a hard
just
lesson that night.
Jungle juice is nobody's friend, and that's why I was drinking a few of it, and then
A few.
honestly, it was
Just a few.
$1 a cup,
Oh,
like
yeah.
one of these, like
Yeah.
fucking brimmed out solo cup, and I had like $8 left. I threw that into a huge crowd of people. Everyone was going nuts. It wasn't my money, so I'm like, dude, let's just make a show, dude. But no, I'm fucking walking around the whole night with my camera on. I get to the front where the music's bumping. Shahid Al-Din, shout out to him if he's listening. He was the DJ that night.
Okay.
Really stellar guy.
Yeah, he was
And-
killing it.
Yeah, dude, he was killing it. And I'm up there filming the crowd and myself and this, and then I trip on a cord, knock something out, fall on my back to get up only to see an entire crowd of people going, boo!
Yeah.
Party foul!
I didn't
And
know what was erupting out there. 'Cause
Dude,
I was in the side room.
It was
I was
nuts.
like, dude, what the hell happened? I hear Mike.
dude,
my bad.
It was like zombies and somebody threw a crank monkey. So what happened was everybody was pissed. The music came back on and faces that looked like this turned into this.
They just start going back again, man.
Like they just perfectly faded back into partying like
that's all it
nothing
takes.
happened. The music was fixed in a matter of like 10 seconds.
See, that was
like,
that was
thank
that was
God.
the floor broke, wasn't it?
Nah, no.
No, that was-
It might
that
have
was-
been later that night, but we were there for a while. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you didn't bring.
Yeah, no.
it was-
But it
no-
did happen at one point. didn't
Yeah,
it?
was it
So,
that
I remember
night
that.
or the next party there?
Yeah,
I
there was
forget
like a
it
week straight.
That fucking place was
someone's
crazy.
birthday. Yeah,
Nuts,
insane. I remember me and Fred Smith had my minivan at the time.
and
If you're
Anthony
listening,
Francis, because
just
this
skip
is
part.
2014, by the way. The
Yeah.
New Year's. It was 2013, 2014.
Yeah,
New Year's.
yeah.
And I remember then I turned on. I was with you guys, you, Fred, and Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah, like solid dudes right across. That was such an
I
epic.
love that. I showed my mom that video, and she's like, "That's what you're doing with my van." But at one point, me and Fred, we had a 18 rack in the car in the van, and we go running outside, and there's a big trash pile. Remember, there's a piece of like a metal pipe sticking like that, and me and Fred are just running all jolly, you know.
Yeah.
And it just takes me out, and I do like a front flip over it, and I'm laying there like I thought I'd die. I think I'd stabbed. And Fred, big dude, who's
Yeah.
running up, is like, "Get up, you pussy!" And just throws me up. I'm like, "Oh, dude, I think I'm dying." You know?
Dude.
Oh man.
Yeah, wild times, man. That place was a freaking
Christ.
madhouse.
The fact that we survived through it, man.
What's what I keep. I always reference my high school experience, and even though that wasn't high school for me anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but those were like college years. I mean,
Yeah, completely.
you had to be lucky to make it out alive, because I mean, shit, between all the people
Oh,
we know who
yeah.
aren't even around anymore, like
Yep.
just from drug addiction and shit.
Oh yeah, we've lost some good
A
ones.
lot
over
of
the years,
turtles,
man.
bro. A lot of turtles. I always think of it as like the turtles going into the ocean. That was the experience. Only some of them make it in. Seagulls and shit. Seagulls and like.
I mean, it's a good analogy, I guess.
Dude, you know what I'm saying? Though?
Yeah, I
It's
like
a
it.
tough little skirmish to get
Yeah,
in.
right.
And then
right,
even
for
when
real,
you get there, there's octopus eating you
you
and
still
shit.
have your when you eat the water, you still have your whole life ahead of you, man. You didn't make it safe yet.
Yeah.
Now the real journey begins.
Yeah, exactly. That's not
You
even
know,
that's not even the journey. That's the survival
Yeah.
test. Like when you're
Right.
in your most vulnerable years,
Right,
and now
exactly.
you have to start once you
That's
get to the
beautiful,
ocean.
man.
And the best
I
part
love
is
it.
that all takes place in like 24 hours worth of time. Sea turtles live until they're like 150.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. Like,
Or
Jesus
something. How long
Christ.
do sea turtles live? Look that up.
Long time.
This message.
That's all it says. It's
This
just-
fun
it's
fact
just
is brought to you by Liquid Death Mountain Water.
shameless plug right there.
You ever tried to read the ad? They have
Murder your thirst.
Murder it. They have a whole thing on the side too. It's fucking
When a
fantastic.
group of teenagers set off into the mountains for a weekend of drinking regular water in plastic bottles, they become haunted by an aluminum can of mountain water that was dead set on murdering their thirst and recycling their souls.
I love it, bro. Yes! It's so metal.
Once cracked open, no thirst is safe from liquid death.
Let's go.
Should be your spokesperson right there, man.
After ritually dismembering its thirst victims, this brutal can of water used the severed body parts of dead thirsts to build itself a flesh suit, which it which it used as a disguise to get a job in marketing. But Liquid Death never took the job. It just murdered a bunch more thirsts instead. Boom!
Fucking go.
Oh,
Follow
God.
that up with one of these. Oh,
Hey, you hear that click, man? It's crisp right there.
Good water.
I'll send that to them. Maybe they'll endorse.
Right, you gotta get a sponsor.
That's my
right?
glowing
That's your
endorsement.
sponsor right there, man.
It's worth it right there, Mike. I'm telling you. They might be down. Dude,
I wouldn't see why they wouldn't be. Hell, man, you did a good job.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, if you ever see their ads, they have some crazy ass ads, and it lines up with that.
I'll be honest though, no bullshit. This is actually really good water.
It's fantastic
And out of
water.
a can,
Yeah.
it looks like a beer. Honestly, if you're somebody who likes to go to parties and not drink, kind of like I'm in that boat. I usually try not to drink, but dude, you fit right in.
Yeah, because if that was a beer
This
can
looks
called
like-
Liquid Death, I'd be afraid to drink
Yeah.
it
Well,
with beer.
but not only
you
that, but
know?
this looks like beer.
Oh,
I had it
yeah,
on the last
completely.
podcast with Joel Turcott. Sorry, Joel Turcott. Shout out. And that's what I was drinking then too.
Yeah, it's really good.
Damn
shit.
good water.
You can even get koozies that even like are the same size as that, and it makes it look like beer.
No
even more.
shit.
They have paper bag ones you can get too on their
I'm gonna
site.
look that up,
Yeah.
man. They're
Oh, yeah.
killing it.
Dude,
Yeah.
right?
Shit's good.
Dude, I'm telling you, Brian, you should
50 to 100 yards, by the way. In the
Oh,
turtles.
that's right, turtles. That's what the fun fact was. Wait, 50 to 100?
I thought
Yeah,
it was-
sea
I
turtles'
thought-
natural lifespan is estimated to be 50 to 100
That was
years.
a lot longer than that.
Yeah, no. Sea
I mean,
turtles?
no, tortoises live a lot longer, I believe.
No, dude, but remember from not Finding Nemo? He's like, I'm 125, and
Yo,
I'm still
yeah.
young, dude. Like, did Finding Nemo just lie to me?
Dude, I'm gonna
think
be
so.
pretty upset.
I'm gonna
What else
fucking
is Disney lying about to us, man?
Be pissed.
Oh, talking about Disney, I think Will Smith came out with a movie about a pigeon that's a spy recently.
Dude.
I forget the name of it, but it's a thing. God, I can't remember. I heard it on the King and the Sting podcast.
I love
with
that
Brendan
podcast.
Schaub and Theo Von. Yeah,
Yeah, dude, Theo
There was-
Von is hilarious,
Dude,
bro.
I love that dude. I remember back in the day when he was on the Road Rules on MTV.
Oh, to come back, did I say I wanted you to become a comedian? When we
Yeah,
were talking
yeah.
you gotta try
And
some.
I was like,
doing
dude, like my only problem is I'm not that funny.
honestly, bro, your
Like-
stories are hilarious. You just, dude, I think a key component to humor is timing.
Yeah, yeah,
If you
no, totally.
time out your execution with
Right.
certain components of the story. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
skill.
we were talking about Chris D'Elia.
Dude,
He's one of my favorite
freaking
comedians
hilarious.
of all time, and it's just how he has those pauses and it comes in so
Yeah.
heavy out of nowhere.
Well, he's got like an unlimited amount of charisma.
It's
know what I mean?
insane. It's insane.
What do you got? You got.
No, I'm just.
Oh, I
no,
thought you said.
No,
oh,
no,
you're
I'm
looking
not.
at me like you had
No,
something.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Then,
What are you hiding? What are you hiding
shut
over
up,
there, man?
Then shut
I'm
up.
looking at turtles. I'm just looking at turtles.
Don't look at me,
I like turtles.
dude. No, he was one of the greatest podcasters ever. I really feel bad that all that shit happened.
Oh, the whole Me
The-
Too
the
movement
whole-
and everything.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, let's be real here. A lot of the times with whether it's right or wrong, because obviously there is a law, and I'm not saying that's something that should be infringed upon. But the point is that when you're a celebrity, everybody and anybody.
You're under a microscope at that point.
Anybody and everybody can be like, "Oh, he had sex with me. That was bad," and then try to collect their dues. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, no, completely.
honestly,
It's
dude.
like he's been on
if-
he's been on 2 different shows where he actually played a pedophile.
Yeah,
It was Workaholics and the season 2 of You.
Isn't that fucking even
And I guess when I heard
worse?
that, I was like,
Yeah,
God,
I know.
you do not
That
look
is
good.
funny. It's
You
like-
do not
it
look
just-
good.
Yeah,
man.
dude,
No,
that's
it's
like-
not a good
Talk
look,
about
bro.
insult to injury. Like you even, or not insult to injury, but you just made things. You just made it
Yeah,
so much
like
worse. Like,
they even brought it up when Angel was like, "Yeah, man, it looks bad
Yeah.
because I played a pedophile on 2 different shows."
There's that episode too
Yeah.
he was on.
I didn't
of,
look too much into it, but-
Shab and Callan's podcast.
Yeah,
where they're telling
the
him
fight
about
with
like
the kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're telling him about how you can get like Snapchats or some shit, and he just has.
Oh
like,
yeah,
phones
you,
of-
I saw a YouTube
Yeah,
clip, and he's like, "Wait, I thought they get deleted."
yeah, I know.
And they're
Like,
like, "No,
no.
no."
And then
he's like,
Oh.
that
"Oh,
song kicks in.
damn."
Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun,
Arrested
dun,
Development.
dun.
What's that one from Arrested Development? Simon and Garfunkel. The
Hello,
Job.
darkness,
Yeah, my old friend.
Yeah,
Just like zone
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Oh no.
Seriously,
That's great, man.
that's essentially.
I was actually I was gonna wear sunglasses tonight on the podcast.
Yeah.
just shout out to Crystalia because in
Yeah.
every podcast, like, dude, take off the glasses. She's like, my future's so
Oh, wow.
bright.
My future's so bright, dude. That was a line. Shout out to Steve and Wade, Brian Waite's father. Who? That's the first time I ever heard
I
it
love,
in my
I love,
life.
I love you have him just ready.
I always
Locked and
got.
loaded, ready to go.
I always
I'm
have
so
a pair.
proud, man.
In fact, I'm gonna just keep them on
Yeah, because
because
your future's too
my
bright, man.
future's so fucking
It's
bright,
fucking
bro.
bright.
Make a dent, man.
Make it
Drinking the liquid death. How can it not be?
Not even a dent, dude.
Oh, man.
I can't. I haven't seen his podcast in so long, but
Mhm.
no. Brian Waite's father was wearing sunglasses at night, and he goes, "I'm wearing these because my future's so bright," and it had me dying.
That's
It's the first
awesome,
time I
man.
heard this all the way back in like 2010.
Oh no shit. You better get his dues from Crystal.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say royalties,
bro.
royalties.
Pay up,
Fucking
man.
my favorite episode was when he was on Fire and the Kid and with Will Sasso, and they're like,
Oh,
if you're
yes,
if your
that
whole
was great.
Will Sasso is a comic genius,
Mhm.
and I don't think he gets the credit he deserves
doesn't. He doesn't.
because he's so funny.
I think most people just remember him from the what was the videos with the limes? He'd have
Oh,
in his
with
mouth.
the lemons.
Yeah, the lemons.
Yeah,
there
I
you
got a
go.
cease and desist is from
Yeah.
Vine. He
Yeah,
was
Vine, there
he
you
was
go.
super popular from Vine. Dude, Vine was a mood, and I was really bummed when it left.
Yeah, man, that's how Crystalia pretty
was
much
like
got
first gen
started too. Was
TikTok.
off Vine.
Did
Like
he?
he was doing stand up for years and
I never
years,
knew
but
that.
he got his name put out there by Vine. That's when comedy clubs started hiring him. Like, hey man, like we've seen your name all across. We keep bringing you up.
No way.
Yeah, he took off. Like, goddamn rocket, man. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. You ever see sound effects? He's like,
and he
still-
goes,
still going,
and he
man.
goes,
Still
hey,
going."
and I just getting started.
God, I love that. Dude.
Will Sasso's is even better though.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
fastest ball in the West. The ball's like, he goes, this is the sun.
Oh man.
Dude, seriously. What would your sound effect be if your life was summarized into one sound effect, Brian?
Be a
Wah, wah.
snore.
Be a snore.
I'm just chilling, man.
I know what I know is what I know.
Wah, wah.
No, yours would be yours Deo, yours would be it would be 19 minutes of coughing.
Be careful doing that nowadays, man. You might
Yeah.
get
Yeah, you gotta.
CDC will
Dude,
pick
no,
you
I
up, man.
I went to get I went for a firearm safety course. Shout out to I don't know their name. Damn it, I should have known beforehand. Doesn't matter. I got
Post editing.
went to the course, post editing. And I was sitting there listening, and I had like my spit
Oh,
went
you-
onto my thing. You know when that happens when you choke on your spit a little
oh,
bit?
yeah.
Weird way to put it, but yeah,
My spit went onto my thing, you know, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah,
no, but
and then there was a
seriously,
dick in my mouth. And I know
Oh,
what's going on.
like,
Shit.
oh, man, how'd this get here?
hey,
Just another.
you
Friday
never know what's
night.
gonna happen to you when you leave the house.
No, man, you might.
Come on,
It
Dale.
could have happened to anybody.
Happy
you know, you might
Thanksgiving.
leave.
No, so
get
I
some
was like,
groceries.
I literally had the will of 1,000 men. I swear to God, I was like, I did not cough, bro, and I wanted to so bad. I wasn't even.
Oh yeah, I was in Target a few weeks ago. And I had to sneeze with my mask on. And I'm like getting watery. I like sitting there shaking, like, oh god, no. Everyone's looking. My eyes are getting all squinty. I'm like, I look fucking insane. I just don't want to sneeze. You know?
Rather shit my pants in public.
yeah. No,
less
isn't it?
intimidating.
It's safer nowadays. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
isn't
I
it-
shit my
Isn't
pants.
it funny? You could
Oh,
be
that
like
happens.
wildly sick and have like explosive diarrhea and like massive vomiting. And how were you? you? Oh, it's okay. I just had severe food poisoning and almost died.
Oh, thank God.
Oh my gosh. Well, you had me
You didn't have a
scared.
fever, did you?
You nearly had the coronavirus.
Right.
I thought you were seriously ill with the coronavirus.
I mean, a part of me believes it's deadly. No one can deny that fact. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
so is the flu. And
Oh,
every year after this, the coronavirus is going to be a thing the rest of our lives. It's never going to not be.
It's statistically proven. You know what I mean?
And so we've been through the swine flu, H1N1, mad cow disease when we were younger. You know, there's always gonna be a new thing to be afraid of.
I know.
We can't let it control our entire lives, the rest of history.
I couldn't agree more.
You know,
it's something that happens too.
The ongoing saying that
the
ongoing saying that I keep hearing is that you can't have the solution be worse than the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like people are at risk, but there's people who have always been at severe risk for anything.
Yeah.
And that's just the way life is.
I mean, if you look at the percentage of how many people have gotten it and had
died,
no to zero effects from it.
Oh, that too.
Are highly greater than people who have
actually
either died or been severely sickened by it.
Well, the CDC says, and you could probably check this if you want to get the more updated version, but it's like a 0.05 percent chance of death across the board. You know what I mean?
It's not a bad percentage.
It's actually a little higher for the flu.
I believe that.
2 times higher. It's 0.1. It's still very unlikely.
Right,
The difference between the two is that there's no vaccine for one and there's vaccine for other, and one of them's being sensationalized. That's the only issue.
I might be wrong about this, but I heard years ago, I haven't had a flu vaccine in 10 plus years probably.
Yeah, I never had one.
I heard that there's about 3,000 different strands of the influenza virus.
Yeah, it keeps changing.
And the vaccine only protects you from about 1% of all the different strands that might attack you. So you're gambling. Like you're putting a disease into your body technically.
Yeah.
Hoping
like a weakened version.
Hoping that the disease that attacks you is on the same strand, the same level.
Yeah.
And it might not be. I don't the risk and reward isn't there for me. You know, let's really get the flu.
Well, it's weird. Well, the thing is, we're in a weird spot because all of us here, we're in our 20s. Mm-hmm. So this is not really an issue that we need to think about.
You're right.
It really isn't.
You're 75.
I am 75. I'm an elf. I'm like 5,000 years old. Dude, honestly, if you look up like your skin looks great.
You live longer than turtles, Mike.
No, dude. But if you look up like how old Legolas was from Lord of the Rings, he's like wildly old. Oh, yeah. Like check it. Like see how old the writer made him out to be because elves live forever until they die. Anyways, that's a weird one.
That's what we all do.
It's a weird side.
2,931 years old.
So there you go.
What a young, fine gentleman he was.
Number, man.
No, but yeah, I'm not like against vaccines because I understand. I understand like how important they are because of vaccines. Like polio doesn't exist, and you can and there's a lot of other diseases like that. My issue is when vaccines are mandatory or for something that are have to be taken on a consistent basis. Like the flu vaccine just seems weird.
Oh, because completely. I mean, I don't see it really affecting. I've never met anybody who've heard me dying from the flu, but they do. Yeah. You know,
it's possible.
Maybe if you're if you're 85, 86 years old, you know, it'll attack you a lot worse. But I don't. Like I said, risk and reward factors is not really there for me to.
Spoken to like radiologists about this, and what I've led to believe is that like if you're not somebody who's allowing yourself to become susceptible to a virus at a young age and then dealing with it as you go, you really leave your what the hell is it called? Your not epigenetic system. So there's an interchanging scaffolding on the DNA. So I've been told, right? And it does change in your lifetime, and it passes on to your offspring in this lifetime. So if you're very healthy or very stressed or very unhealthy, these types of things do pass off
my daughter's fucked.
in a subgenetic way, right? So in that same instance, we obviously have what it takes to have the flu and not die at a young age. Everybody does. That's and obviously people who are immunocompromised will always die. I mean, that's so nature still has balance. And the big problem is humans do not consider themselves a part of nature.
That's the biggest
thing. It's a
thing
very
right there.
disarming thought. So then when you kind of go about it as if you're higher than nature and you're trying to avoid a very common thing, which the flu is, the cold is, you know what I mean? Not smallpox. Smallpox and measles. Smallpox and measles, though, were also fixed because of vaccines. But they're fixed, right? The flu will never be fixed. And so it seems like you're creating this customer base off of a product that you need to constantly take. Because say you did take the vaccine for your whole life and now you're 70, the moment you stop...
fear is one of the best motivators to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all it comes down to is like, hey, I can steer people to I can make billions off it if they say they need this vaccine. It's not going to protect them in any kind of way, but they're going to get it.
Exactly.
Just their own sense of peace, you know?
Well, and that's I hear people ask me, did you take the flu vaccine? And I go, no. And it's like, and I ask them, well, do you? Because I work with a lot of people who are older, much older.
Right.
And I ask them, did you get it? And they go, yeah. And I'm like, well, you're gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
this year I pretty much
enter at your own risk.
Yeah,
I have to get it just to my daughter's so young. I have to get it just to be safe around her.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But if that wasn't the case, then.
Exactly, and that's the nice thing that there is these options. Again, I'm not saying that it's bad that there's these options. I don't like the fact that there's even the conversation of making them mandatory.
Yeah,
that's
completely.
weird.
Like you can't come to school unless
you can't leave the country.
You
know what I mean? You need your vaccination passport or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like Ticketmaster. Did you hear about that?
No.
Ticketmaster. Supposedly, you're going to either need a test, I'll be like, okay, well, that's fine, or a vaccine to go to any shows from here on out, a COVID test or vaccine.
Jesus Christ!
Imagine that, just to go to any shows.
When's it going to end? You know what I mean, we're going to flash an ID at every grocery store, every gas station, like, hey, I'm clean. There's actually a Netflix movie that's being released soon. I saw a preview for it today, and it's about like 2023. It's like COVID 23, and people are being on 3 years of lockdown.
Ugh.
And what's his name? James Cameron, I believe, directed it, and it looks terrifying. Like it's in our near future enough to where you can see it. Actually
I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've seen the commercial. I forget what it's
terrifying.
called. Yeah, honestly, I keep saying to people, and I feel like I don't say it to too many people because I don't want to be that kind of person or come off as though I'm insensitive. Because again, empathy is being weaponized currently. So it's like if you don't have enough of it, then you're an asshole or something like that. Versus thinking for yourself and understanding that fear is the enemy above all else.
Oh yeah, completely.
When you throw statistics into people's faces on a consistent and regular and consistent, it's the same fucking word. Basis, right? You're gonna be afraid. Like for instance, we just grab our keys and hop in the car. All right, I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to be told on a daily basis, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's over 3,000 people who die a day from vehicular accidents. Type in how many people die a year or a day from car accidents, right, in the world. And in addition to that 3,000 deaths a day, I believe it's
1.25 million a year. 3,287 deaths per day.
3,000?
Damn, you were close.
Yeah.
How many?
3,287.
And then does it say 15,000 additional mortally wounded people as well?
Now you're asking me two more. An additional 20 to 50 million people are injured or disabled.
There you go.
Jesus Christ.
So 20 to 50,000 more people, or did you say million?
Yeah, an additional 20 to 50 million people
per year
are injured or disabled per year. Yeah.
Okay, so then that. So imagine then getting those statistics broken down, shoved in your face on a consistent
day in and day out.
Watch what you do.
You would never drive your car again.
Once these cars, and I'm going to call it right now. It's 2020, November 21st.
Have you checked your watch for that?
Yeah.
No, it's Thanksgiving, Mike. It's Thanksgiving.
Well, my watch has the.
No, go in the future real quick.
It is Thanksgiving though, and happy Thanksgiving. But imagine that being shoved in your face. Now everybody cannot manually drive their car.
Mm-hmm.
iRobot actually called it. Remember that when he went into manual mode, and she's like, "What? No, nobody was in there in the car with him, but Will Smith was going into manual mode, and the car was like, "This is highly unrecommended."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, he had the old motorcycles like a Ducati or something, just because it was an old bike from like
it didn't have
it was just old school.
And I'm all for the progressiveness of technology because I actually really love technology. And I can see how it can be used for good because I'm actually reading or listening to Elon Musk's book written by Ashley Vance, which is a man, by the way, Australian fella. And
Crikey.
Good for him.
And
That's not a knife.
And
That's
he
a
wrote a book.
He
wrote a book by from Elon Musk's life, but by his perspective, and he convinced Elon Musk to let him do this so that there was no bias. So that made the book actually a little bit better, considering Elon Musk at first wanted like full control over what he was saying,
Right?
and
Yeah, he wants
to make sure
full creative rights over everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So he convinced him otherwise, so that way he could be completely unbiased about the whole story. But in the book, it kind of referenced like there's been this extremely dystopian image that's been pressed onto technological advancement for so long. Like it's always a bad thing, and this came with the .com era. Believe it or not, technology. Technology from a hardware standpoint has always been very safe. It's been the development of people's willingness to share information, and that's what the .com era ushered in.
That makes sense.
Banking online, our lives now take place online.
That's a scary point, man. Never really thought about
it's opened up a lot of great
know?
things for people who are creating. Like this podcast is made possible because you can kind of access it from anywhere.
Wait, I thought you sent VHSs out of this.
Oh no, this is Amtrak.
What is it? A-Track. Amtrak.
No.
It's A-Track. It's A-Track.
We only play this on the train.
Oh man! All right, I gotta take a quick pause.
You gotta take. All right, man. We'll take a pause and wrap it up. Nature calls. Nature strikes again.
At least you did
The lizard has been.
I'm awful with that. I usually knock stuff over.
The old lizard has been bled.
I feel like an asshole. I just take out the tripod and everything, man.
Deo's done it. Deo tried.
Paintings are coming off the walls and shit.
Deo and all his athleticism
Glory.
tried to leap over this
In my defense,
octopus of wires over here.
this gaggle of fucking bullshit.
He looks like I can clear it.
In my
I can
defense,
clear it.
I did do it once, and so I was full of confidence that I could do it again.
He did a great
I
job
could
the
not,
first
though.
time.
Yeah.
But yeah, never feel bad about getting front. You know what I mean? People are listening.
Get right in the camera. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. Deo takes his pants. Deo's weird because he takes his pants off all the way down to his ankles before he gets to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But I let it slide because we're friends.
It's because I got the me undies.
No, dude, I'm talking like middle school style.
Shaft
Like,
and all.
like you take elementary school.
Everyone knew that one kid who
Remember
just
that?
dropped trow.
Dude,
Just
yeah.
completely.
No.
I've seen
Wait,
grown
no one
men.
else does that still?
I've seen grown men do it before.
No one else does that
Who?
still? I thought everyone does that. I do that.
No one else does that.
You know who else does? I thought he was like, oh, who?
Yeah.
Like, what, you guys? Me?
Mike,
Everybody that I know.
Mike, you did it before. I saw it.
Dude,
did
no, I
together.
remember in middle school. Sorry, I keep saying middle school. It was elementary school. Kids were still
it
doing
straight.
that. Like,
Oh,
hot fire.
yeah,
You pull
yeah.
your pants all the way down.
I remember elementary school, Old Mill Pond, where I went to elementary school in Palmer. One of the toilets started flushing while I was going, and it started overflowing onto my pants, and I couldn't
like a
stop. And I had to go to the office. My mom dropped me off a pair of pants. My brother, he was in 3rd grade, and I was in kindergarten or something, and he told all of his older friends
Oh, no.
that I peed my pants.
Oh,
So for like years, I was the kid who peed the pants. I'm like, the toilet overflowed. I swear.
I swear, man. I swear.
I didn't pee my
Can't
pants.
get a
man.
girlfriend until high school.
I asked girl out like 10th grade, like you peed your
Aren't you
pants
the kid who
in
pissed
1st
your
grade.
pants?
Did you pee your pants?
Dude, I
Dude, the
love
toilet
that.
overflowed, man.
I miss the innocence and the just everything was so low par. Like,
Oh yeah, they didn't expect anything from you back then, man.
yeah, it was
You
just
know?
like everything was like everything was really exaggerated, but it was stupid shit.
Oh yeah, I mean, anything that happened to you, you took.
See,
You
come
took
in
the whole
without
new
his
level.
shoes on. His shoes were untied or something like that. What a dork!
Don't forget till we're
Yeah.
seniors.
What are those pants you're wearing? Imagine if you're
You take a shit in school? Loser.
How
Should
would
have hold it.
How about a funny freaking? That'd be a hilarious sketch rather. If somebody
In a sketch.
yeah, maybe
Make
it's
it-
a
make
sketch,
new
a sketch.
thing, man.
Made a sketch about how adults acting like elementary school students in the adult world.
That'd be great. They're gonna work in a workplace in an office area.
Hey,
Yeah.
nice pants, Phil.
Your
or
mom
something.
get him for you?
Yeah, would you? Yeah, or something like
Your
that.
mom dress you this morning?
We all have blue pens, you dork. Or something. I don't know.
Why don't you have a peanut butter and
I can't
jelly
get it
for
together.
lunch?
Yeah.
We'll get it. It's a work in progress.
Kids are
you know?
brutally honest. Your mom's fat, you know? Like,
Oh yeah, they'll tell you what's up, man.
Yeah.
They'll tell you. Sometimes you find like I saw your dad kiss another woman.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, that's not a joke, man. You ruined my family.
Wait, did you really? Or are you kidding? Like, what's going
You
on
just
here?
broke up my family, bro.
really
What the
fucking things up
fuck?
for me at home, man. What's up? All right, yeah, we got to wrap this up. I just
Oh,
realized my
man.
Mac's almost dead.
Oh,
I don't have it
God.
plugged in, but
Going
yeah,
too
Come
hard.
on. What is this,
Guys,
first day?
it is my first day. It is always my first day, ladies and gentlemen. I am
Keep
fresh
this
out of the...
podcast going.
Listen, I'm the youngest man alive now that Chris D'Elia's out of the game. And
You're taking his spot.
I'm taking
man.
his spot. I'm officially youngest man alive. And
man.
freshest of the freshest. But Brian, man, thanks for coming
Oh, dude,
on,
thanks for
brother.
having
This
me,
was
man.
this
It
was a
was
blast.
awesome.
I
It
knew
really
it
was.
would be.
Thank you, guys.
You should try and do something like this, anything like that, man. You got a hell of a personality, dude.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
I really do. It means a lot to me.
Keep up the good work. Keep making people laugh. You make
Okay.
me
Fight the
fucking
good
laugh.
fight.
We'll have to. We're gonna have to have you on again
Okay,
soon,
I'll keep
though.
dadding it up.
Yeah, dude, keep the dad flow going, man. You'd be.
Oh,
I
man.
wish you were my dad. Honestly, you'd be a
that
badass
means a
dad.
lot. You make my heart melt.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, you'd be a fun. I feel like you'd be a fun dad, man.
Appreciate
I always
that,
wonder
bro.
what kind of dad I'll
I
be.
never know what to say to that. You know, but
Dude,
okay.
you
it's
do
cool.
find out.
No. Yeah.
We'll find out one day.
I'll find out one day. I'm gonna have like 90
Scary as
kids.
hell.
I'm gonna have so many kids. I'm gonna have kids until the woman dies.
You're like that Vince Vaughn.
And then I'm gonna be like a fucking shepherd to my children.
live at the pasture.
On that note, guys,
Run free.
peace out.
Later, guys.